curious, yeah.
If you're talking like in a not so fluent language, you tend to like talk less and focus more on important things to say.
Yeah.
You tend to like play more Dota. Whereas if they're talking in Tagalog, they'll probably be like talking and talking and talking. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that, especially if you're with a bunch of players that you have already played for so long.
Let's go, guys.
And then you speak your mother tongue, like a lot of trash comes out during the game, like you make fun of each other more, and there's a lot of words that are not really important in the game that comes out.
Yeah, and like you said, KP has like really elevated the way they're playing. Like it's very visible, it's very obvious, and a lot of the times at the end of the games, he's always getting that match MVP.
He's just a better offlaner compared to Cuckoo. I mean, nothing against him, but KP is just able to play the offlane in a much better way. Like I feel like Cuckoo, maybe his offlane is a bit more stagnated for the past patches, and he didn't really manage to adjust to the new patch. And right now, it's good. It's working for them. I'm sure he agrees that KP can play the offlane better than him.
Yeah,
like a boomer.
Like a boomer. Yeah.
I think it's also that Cuckoo has been like picking up this captaincy role, right, together with Tims, and I think while playing an offlane role sometimes a bit harder, it's definitely easier to do on support.
Ano yun guys, moment. Execution versus Bleed. Mag-i-start na.
It doesn't look like very awkward, him playing this pos 5.
It's time.
Especially since Tims is such a sacrificial pos 4, you see him buy wards, he buys like
Watch party tayo, tol.
Yeah.
It's not a very greedy player like maybe DJ or Shanks, where you see them with the Hurricane Pike and the Midas and stuff, they're kind of different in that sense.
Yeah, he's not selfish at all. Let's talk about Execration for a bit, who are currently queuing for a draft right now. Let's get it up there.
Pag-game na pala eh. Game na pala, may draft na.
From you guys.
They look lost for sure.
Okay. That's a good way to sum it up.
I don't like the number scheme that they brought up during the shit talk. Like they have 6 Pinoys, it might not be a good idea. There's too many of the same ideas.
That's true.
I feel like they need their strategy again. I've said this many times, but they look good when they're playing Dota that they understand. They're not this team that comes out, busts out this Huskar 24 pick and then play well with it. They're just not that team.
Yeah. Gotta agree with you there. We have Techies and Magnus.
First pick. Techies.
So they ban out Beastmaster and Chantress.
Ba't open yung Algae? Hindi na pinipick yung Algae.
Okay, so they choose to remove the Rubik based on the interview.
They probably want Magnus, right? Which is why they took out the Rubik. I think that makes more sense. Magnus also a flex for them, right? Tino plays it. Tino? Sorry.
Dati lagi first pick si Algae. Bumagal daw ata, tol.
The hero is actually better as a carry right now.
I feel the hero can be in any role, but you just farm and buy Harpoon. Don't buy Dagger.
Any core role.
Yeah, don't buy Dagger. Just buy Harpoon.
People to play pos 5 Magnus or pos 4 Magnus, please, no.
You just play core, you buy this Harpoon and you kind of bully people on the map.
Second pick doom, gago,
It's
pwede tayan
very hard to keep on top of someone while doing damage, but now with this Harpoon item, it's kind of different.
Techies daw, maganda yung pick dito ng ano.
Do you need like a secondary core that's more greedy on the offlane?
Feel ko baka Magnus carry lang ulit to, yung X
There are games where he can carry, but the advantage of
favorite
the
Magnus carry
or flex is that you get to see what you're playing against, right? Like for example, you're playing against this Doom now. I don't think you want to have a single core Magnus against that. It feels very hard to end the game.
I mean, the Doom's like pretty good against the carry Magnus because when you Doom him, you remove the Empower, so he loses a lot of his damage. So then it's not good for him to be the carry that way, right? You want somebody else to be the carry, and you want the Magnus to build the pipe and everything to keep people alive.
Yeah, I think there are different ways to build it. I think the Fly core, like even when the Magnus goes for his Harpoon build in the offlane, like we saw from Masteros, I think Zai did it yesterday as well. It just looks really good. Like repositioning has always been one of the most broken things in Dota.
Core item on Magnus right now, or it just depends on the game. If you guys need more catch in that game, then it's okay for the Magnus to buy the Harpoon, or it's just straight up good, better than buying the Aura items for your team.
I feel like it's better for your own game, but it might not be better for your team. I also feel like a lot of the times if you want to play Magnus that way, similar to before, right? Where if you play against this Yules or Rubik Lift, it's very hard to get away. So like you harpoon yourself in and you might not get the skewer off, they just kind of die there.
So then you just pick up wants to buy all the Aura items. Would that actually make more sense for the Magnus? So you can go for your Harpoon build and then you don't have the burden to buy all the team items.
Yeah, I think that would be great because you want team fight, right, with this Magnus who forces fights for you.
I guess sometimes you might want to buy Grease, but apart from that, if you want to get
labas mo na yung Kuko Beno, tol.
I think that's the most ideal for you. Right? You start with a Vanguard, then you go for your Harpoon.
Yeah, I feel like you're just way too tanky. Like, I see this hero being paired up with like some Phoenix or something where you're like 15 minutes into the game, you have 3k HP and Sunray behind you, you know, you have RP for egg. That just sounds like so much to deal with. His lane's not that weak as well right now. Because a lot of the popular carries are the more of the illusion heroes, not really lane dominators.
Because of universal stat, he has a lot of damage in the lane. A lot more than before.
Day 3 guys ha, day 3.
A lot stronger right now.
Standing
Disgusting
ata. Ano ba
universal
standing
heroes.
nila?
Yeah, tell me more about the
Check
universal
bingo.
hero.
The universal heroes, they have so many stats.
DPC.
Why?
C23.
Because they just do. Because Valve said so. They pick up Pango and Execration. Kind of figured that would
Pango?
happen.
Pango mid yan, tol. Di ko pa nakikita si Shanks gumamit ng ano. O kaya carry na yan, di ko nakikita sa kanila yan.
Ember or Void or Pango, right? I feel like a lot of the teams, especially on second pick, they always 15 pick them.
But why are they 15 picking like
Yeah,
hero
I'm not
like
sure
Pango?
too.
I mean, I guess
I'm not
because
sure.
they feel like you've already banned the Bloodseeker and the Ember, because those are the two heroes that's really, really good against the Pango. Then you feel like there's nothing more.
He's good with Empower as well.
What is the
Lich.
importance of the
Gogo.
15th pick?
Palakasan na ng lane.
I feel like it's just stealing away.
Malakas yung lane dito
the-
ng ano.
the-
Normally at this
Blacklist,
junction when you have
Bake Yok
CM
sila
and
last
Magnus,
pick.
maybe
Ano
you
last
pick
pick
your post
carry?
you know, because you don't want to reveal too much of your draft with the core. But I guess they feel like maybe they feel like if you don't pick Pango now, maybe the enemy's gonna
Ay,
pick it and you
Tino,
won't get
i-mo
it.
yung ano.
Or they feel like they want to reserve the pause for a more important
I-mo
hero,
yung
they
ako
have something
mamputa.
in mind. And I really like the Lich here against the Magnus. Frost Shield, very, very good against that. Deals with the Blink Harpoon shenanigans with your Sinister's Gaze. That's one of the better spells, you know.
That is true.
If you remove Ruby, I
Malungkot
think
si
Lich is
Shanks,
the
tol.
second best hero that can stop the Magnus Gaze combo.
Ang ilang akum yan.
Has some crazy range too.
I mean, the buff is like a bit funky right now. You can just go and jungle, get mana. But I'm
That's true.
not advocating that, but I'm just saying you can do it.
Tol, share nyo na yung stream
No
natin.
wonder you've ruined the sea cubs.
I saw one of my friends doing it. He bought the axe and jungle.
Ilalabas
buff,
na
so
ata
he
ni
just has the AoE gaze and
Joby
you
yung
just
ano.
jungle.
Oh no.
Tol,
It's execration pick here. I feel like they need to pick their carry, but it's also really
paano mo nalaman tong sa inyo to?
difficult to show right now.
I mean, you know the lane's probably a Doom.
Doom techies, right?
Yeah,
It's not an easy
you can pick.
lane to
If
pick
there's
it.
no monkey, then maybe you can pick.
Gago,
like
meron pa
Ursa.
dito na isa pa eh.
Or the other hero is like I mean,
Meron.
if you want something that can dodge the blast off, is like PL.
5200 naman tong
But I don't
isa.
know if PL is really good this game.
Yeah, against the heroes on blacklist.
Yeah, but because when you look at techies, right, most of the
Kaya nga,
characters would
sinabi
just
ko na
say
sa
they
kanila
want
yung
to play
dati
either
pa eh.
monkey or PL because you have
Lagyan
some way
na
to
nga ng
dodge
tape na
the
puti dyan, tapos lagyan na lang ng ano.
Yeah, and the bomb in the lane.
Scrambler.
That's the most annoying part about the hero early game.
Meepo.
You like that?
The stacking meepo.
Ewan ko,
That
bahala
was
sila.
what,
The Giga
what's
Meepo.
Yun na lagi.
Giga-
Suporta sa tropahan kahit walang pusta Seb. Yun!
Meepo is great against Quap.
Tangina mo, inaantok si Bob, tol. Sigaw tayo dito. Tangina, nilabas yung Mipo. Tayo natin siya blacklist, tol.
If you buy team items
Mipo port pick.
and you just play around the
Ayun,
squad,
Mipo
well,
nga tayo. oh.
This is Bob Meepo
Disband
against
ang
the
putang
Phoenix
ina.
team. They're gonna put the Magnus
and there's a
in the
lich.
safe lane.
There's a lich in the game, you know.
I feel like that's
Oh,
why I've talked
true.
about with execution again. They're like 18 pick. They need to pick this Huskar is Meepo.
Kaya nga
I
eh.
don't get why they need to.
Ang ina
do
ni
this
Kimo,
thing.
nagpapayaman,
It's
gago.
very forced.
Maybe they feel like these are all the replacements. To
Tol, Mipo tayo, tol.
doing last time.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a comfort hero.
Okay, so now they have to ban.
Mipo
Slam
tayo.
Slam, the obvious one against the
Kalaban
Mipo.
natin, Lich
What else do you need
Techies.
to- Any splash damage that you need to ban.
Tas
what's the
Doom
second
Kyop.
best hero against Meepo as a carry.
Charles pretty decent. Sense
Gogo,
definitely
lahat
one of the
parang
ones up
lahat
there.
pang Mipo eh.
Monkey,
Chain
Storm,
Frost,
Medusa,
Scream,
Dawn.
Scream of Pain, Wave.
Oh, they left the Phoenix in the pool on blacklist. Phoenix is actually really good for execration. Together with the Meepo and just a
Yeah,
lot
the
of
stun
team
ray.
fights.
Ah,
and
ganim
use.
Doom pa, di ba? Ano na?
Gives them a lot of magic damage too. It's really good against Doom. as
Yung?
well.
Ano yun?
Not sure if it's a Shanks hero though.
paano
Might
nagko-combine?
just go for something like a
Oh,
Skyrock
yung
instead.
Mipo? Nagpapatong?
Elder Titan Ben. Elder Titan
Tangina mo,
carry
tanga yun.
Ben. Damn, that's interesting.
magiging
I mean, Elder Titan is pretty good
Huh?
against Meepo.
Yeah, but you have Pango and RP. It's so hard for you to.
Ah? Di.
Blacklist lineup is looking kind of squishy.
Paano ma?
Nah, that's what you think, but then the Doom has like.
Oh, I mean, aura.
Alki daw last pick, tangina di mo kupa.
And then the techies,
Frost armor.
the techies has the grease and the pipe or whatever. Okay, normally you see the grease on the techies.
Alki last pick daw yung ano, blacklist. Wala,
I mean,
hindi na
what
tayo,
other
tol.
carry is good against like the
Na-spoiler tayo ng
Meepo?
konti doon. Medyo mabilis kasi yun eh. Siya nagpipick doon sa X eh.
Ursa is good too.
Oo, nag-live ako. Tangina mo, binuksan mo pa ng todo.
Probably the best one.
Tangina mo, bakla.
But it's good with their draft. Right?
Limang
They
taras
just need
Maple lang
someone
sagot
who
dyan,
can
Seb,
cast
plus
them there.
STR Dagger,
This
5
arm is
Grim
nice, the
Crimson
lane's
ng
good.
kampe. Ang ina mo, hindi bibili ng 5 taras yun.
They
Sa aso
want
yun.
something that's not easy to get
Ganda
repositioned
niyan.
by this Magnus.
Sorry.
What can we see?
Time for the Embers. Oh, no
Medyo
Ember
lang.
set. What's a cool battlefield hero? Ogre Magi.
Kunka. No, Kunka.
Kunkka with
Doon ka na
Valkyrie,
manood, Kim, okay?
Double Daedalus.
Ang ina ka bakla.
I mean,
No,
not better.
no way.
I mean, do you build better for
No way this
on
was the hero, guys. No way.
Halki last pick, tol.
Isn't Elk so bad against?
Ano na last pick ng tropahan natin dito?
Isn't Meepo the
Mipo
cheat
carry,
against Elk
Pango
before?
mid, offlane
Just
Magnus.
invaded jungle, right?
Kulang sila ng 4.
You have so much buffs on the AoE on your stun, so I don't know what. I mean, before
I
Alchemist is
think
always
it's probably better because you also buy Radiance, right? Which kind of deals with one of the Meepo timings, but I feel like Execution, this Phoenix looking juicy.
Kaya nyo na,
as
kaya
hell
kay
right now.
100k tol sa blacklist.
I mean, I feel like Blacklist just has a greedy standing lane lineup.
Puta, lahat panlaban sa Meepo eh, yung stun ni
Execution has
Alke,
this
di ba?
buff Where they
time.
need to win with this Meepo by
Yeah,
like
there's a
20,
time where they have
minutes.
to end the game. If they don't end the game at that time, they are not gonna win the game. Yeah, Phoenix is like the perfect setup for.
Eh, shout
for the
nga pala
Meepo
dyan
because
kay
of the
Kervin
sun
de la
and
Cruz.
the egg in the team fight.
Seb, shoutout sa'yo.
It's all
Tsaka
about
kay
keeping the
Lito,
Meepo
gandang
alive.
ayos ah.
They have roll, they have RP. Live behind him. There's not much catch on Blacklist too for the Phoenix.
Yeah, you definitely just want to buy like a pipe and mag and keep the meeples alive in the team fights. As long as they initiate on you, they throw the chain force, they throw the sonic wave, and nobody dies, you're gonna win the team fight.
Tiwala lang tol. Tiwala tayo sa
I
Exe
think
eh,
they're very
ganyan.
happy right now.
Ang ina, ubus na ang pera natin, kakatiwala.
Choose to go for Skyroff instead. So they're playing this farming kill you on the map game.
I mean, I guess it gives them like strong lane and like a pick-off potential on the elk.
Bagay, Miami nga nanalo ng game
one
one eh.
Like, any,
Nanalo eh, no?
especially the
Gago sa
Cop and the
galpak
Elk,
lahat
the
yun. Tangan ng taas ng
farming
odds
easy
nun
to
sa
kill them.
Miami.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a pick. I think Phoenix would have been
Kailan ba
more
laban ng NBA?
secure,
Tol,
but
bukas,
it's
Lakers,
faster,
Nuggets?
right? In a way, where they have this like. we just
Phoenix
kill
is
you.
Ah.
full draft is all
Ah,
about the team.
Miami,
Mm,
Miami,
Gives
Boston
them a
muna.
option, okay, we can pick somebody
Ah,
out.
Miami, Boston pala
The
laro
Silence is
bukas,
very good
tol.
against the Co-op.
Skyrat,
The
si
Silence
Shanks.
against, the Techies as well, you can kill him easily.
I just feel like they don't have an answer for the Doom right now. Like his
Yeah,
lane is
Doom-
pretty free.
So
and
tingin ko
Doom is
pinapractice
a
naman ng
Mm.
Exe to.
run in with Frost Shield and then you can't kill this.
So kita mo naman sa mukha nung
Yeah, they have to
execution
try to
na
gank with
confidence
the
nila.
Skyra.
Tsaka
I feel
yung
like the
fourth
Skyra
pick
has-
na
he has to be very active in the early game. He's gonna
Mipo
decide a lot
na
about,
reveal na yung
the
apat din
outcome
ng
of
ano.
the game by
ng blacklist na
killing
puro
heroes, you know, so I think he
AOE.
needs to be active, he needs to use
Tingin
the-
ko
the
na
team gear
practice
and just
naman
move
nila.
around the map and
So,
killing the
tingnan
dudes if he
natin.
can.
Yeah, so much work
So
to
guys,
do.
game
Yes,
number
the
1 nga pala
lanes,
to
it's
sa
just the
DPC.
top angle
Day
matchup
3.
isn't the easiest. Gets harder like level 4, level 5. So you need to go runes, you need to kind of win your
Division
safe lane,
1.
and you need to not lose
Summer
the off lane,
Tour
or
dito
give
sa
this
ano.
up free farm bare minimum.
Execution versus Blacklist,
You
best
guys
of
were
3.
initially thinking that
Sana.
it might be a Meepo mid.
Sana
You guys
2-0 ng
like it
Exe.
better That we have a Meepo in the safe lane.
Di daw
I
bias
mean, I
ah.
just don't like Meepo in
I don't like the
General?
hero in the
Yeah.
safe lane. I feel like he needs levels to accelerate. It's just one of those heroes. And he does pretty well in mid, especially against Quap. You just kind of rotate your meeples. You don't care about poison as much.
Yeah. It's a low percentage play here by X Creation on this draft. And whereas
Like and share nyo na guys yung stream natin. Tatapusin natin tong best of 3 ng Exe.
Percentage on their side based on drafts.
So then I
Tsaka
ask you
Blacklist.
the grand question. Who's drafting?
Although kahit umabot ng
Well, from
game
what you
number
just
3
said, I
to,
assume you think Blacklist, right?
Yep.
tuloy-tuloy lang yung
So
live
same for you?
natin.
Alright, well let's see what our casters
Ang
like
ina.
today. This time I got Richie and John X Fire for you guys.
Wala akong tiwala sa pick ng Exe guys, pero tingnan natin.
Hello, Jonathan. We were just talking before, and it
John
didn't really
X, pero-
seem like you quite agreed with the analysis there from Adam and Winter. You were kind of saying how you've got some concerns with this Meepo, even in the safe lane. What do you have to say to those doubters on the
Lasa
lane?
natin konti yung
I think
sounds ah.
Meepo is really strong. I think he's got this Ags timing down the line that allows him to scale past this early tempo that Meepo has been known for. And
Malakas
if
daw
you do
yung
manage to hit that
Meepo
point,
po.
the Meepo gets pretty scary. He gets, what, 8k HP with a couple of stat items with the Ags when he gets into the Mega Meepo form. So he's relevant into the late game. I don't think you've got enough damage to really pin him down. You've got some team fight to cover your bases here in Execration. The issue is getting to that point where the Meepo's ultra farmed up. I had a discussion with Aurora about how Meepo feels. And
She
the
a Meepo
general
spammer?
No, but she's played against it and she
Ah.
has some opinions. So
Smoke
like,
yung Exe.
her
Tingnan natin
issue
kung
with Meepo
makakapatay
now
ang
is
tropahan.
with the map being bigger, it doesn't feel like Meepo can get that gold advantage anymore because there's still so much space to farm for the enemy core, which is fair.
Tsaka sabi nila guys ha, konting info lang. Si Alke daw tol, sobrang bagal na mag-farm. So yung dating kinukuha na 9 minutes radiance, ngayon automatic parang 10 to 14 minutes. 13 parang, so syempre yung mga 3 to 4 minutes isang item na yun sa Alke dati. So let's see kung ano yung mangyayari dun sa Alke. Kasi malakas din naman yung katapat nila eh. Nilakasan din ng Exa yung lane nila. Meron silang Skyrat tsaka Mag. Pero sakit kasi nun tol. Promise yung stun nung Alke, nakakapatay talaga sa lane. Lalo na Lich yung katapat, di ba? Puro Nova, slow, tas may stun ka sa aso.
Depending on how lanes play out, I mean, you've got the two heroes in the game that quite literally conjure up gold for free. Like they make more gold.
Good luck sa mga bettors dyan na tumatalpak.
I'm kind of curious how that's going to end up working out here with Meepo.
Kung saan man kayo nakataya.
Just one hero, Meepo might still have that timing, but against two, like
Bakla pa rin si Makai guys.
when KP probably has his early
Save shot daw tayo mamaya.
I think his preferred build.
Yun yung mga tropahan. Friday night eh. Yan yung pwede palagpasin yung Friday night tol. Respeto lang sa mga nauna.
I've got concerns with it. Blacklist as well with this Queen of Pain, right? Tends to be the lane dominator. We were looking at the builds just before we got started. It's about 50-50. Sometimes you see like right clicker base, more into that Orchid, or a little bit more of a deviation into the Acceptor style, which might be the choice here.
Yeah, up against Meepo, it sounds like pretty good value. The lane for Carl shouldn't be too bad. I think it's probably a little bit cooperative.
Sakit talaga nakatapat ng Tegis. Bobo yung Tegis. May slow ang puta.
We'll see if Carl does this.
Uy, namatay yung courier ni Shanks.
First two levels should be manageable for the Pango.
Babawian tol, babawian.
Lanes though, taking a look down bot. Raven on the Elk along with Cuckoo on that.
Yan. Okay lang yan. Para sa akin, mas okay yan. Labanan lang ni Shanks si Kuko na 1v1. Kasi, tulad yan, di ba?
You know, it's mainly been on aura heroes, right? Like aura or micro heroes. Something more team fight coming up for Tino.
So, yan tol. Kasi na 1v1 ng Mag yung Alke.
Manage the outlane early on, especially with
Hindi sila nagagata. Nakahati yung gata ni Ision tol.
Not too much the Lich can do outside of maybe getting a slow and the Frost Shield to slow down that damage.
Yep.
So it should be manageable enough. And as long as you manage
Gano'n
the
nakatanga ni
outlane,
Tino doon.
again, just prevent him from getting an overwhelming start, gives your Meepo a fighting chance.
Yeah, and it's a lot of like really quite tanky heroes as well on the side of Execration. Meepo can be quite tanky, although he might be in some trouble top lane, maybe just dead.
First blood.
Got a little bit too close.
Yun lang, maagang first blood. Nakakuha ng blacklist, tropa.
All they needed. Tim's even had blast off, so there's just no way out of that one, to be honest.
Medyo masakit-sakit sa puso yun. Sino nakakuha nun?
Difference here, you know, we were more concerned about an
Tegis man ata, tol.
First blood does not bad.
Patay rin ata to si Carlo. Utang ina mo.
Okay. Man,
Yun lang.
we were talking earlier as well. I'm just so not used
2-0 na. First blood.
It is so dumb what universal heroes can get away with on supports. Just a few branches, then your right click's insane. Techie's probably one of the worst in terms of how much damage he has for his range as a laning support. This hero is pretty disgusting.
Save all in X na ba? Pwede. Diskarte mo tol. Pero syempre ngayon lamang yung blacklist eh. Nasa iyo yan kung maganda yung nangyari sa X eh. At the same time kung maganda yung mangyari sa blacklist. Alam mo na yung mangyayari. Hindi naman pabaya yung both teams na yan eh, kung pag lumamang sila pareho. Ganda rin kasi ng spell na nakuha ni KP, yung lightning, buraot. Ring of Pet, Vanguard yung bubuhay ni Onit, tol. Babang level, gago. Ang daming dinay siguro nito. Tangin mo, 6. Ito.
Bosku as well, finding himself having a bit of a tougher time with Shanks defending this ward that blocks the camp, so they can't really establish lane equilibrium either. I don't know if going for right click is the best idea. He's gonna get skewered under tower now.
Tay siguro, tol! Nice one! 2-1, tol. Tropa siguro, pero syempre, sa exit tayo dito.
Really getting a whole lot accomplished here for his Alchemist in the early game.
That's not what you want to see out of the Lich.
Ito, mamamatay si Palos, guys! Sa top! Putang ina na, slow! Another one para sa side ng blacklist.
So using this
ang ina nyo, disband.
Paolo's not even choosing his skills to the level he got, just pocketing those points. And the moment you're abandoned by your
kailangan bumalik ni Carlo sa top, sayang XP.
That is to be expected.
Yeah, a bit dangerous. Carlo actually, he just took the twin gate back top lane because he was elsewhere, maybe trying to set up for a play bottom with given how much this tower is pushing. But You know, as you're saying, you take that opportunity to set up on the Meepo, and it's a much more valuable kill here for the side of Blacklist 2 now onto the Meepo. You know, this Techies, we talk about how deceptively strong he is, and you know how much of an impact he can really make here. He's really starting to blow apart this top lane. Maiden, you know, used to be that kind of a hero as well. Maybe it's the 20 damage nerf here to the Crystal Nova. They might go again here onto Palos top lane, by the way.
Go na naman si Palos. Patay na naman ata ito.
But the slows, Palos ticking down. Blood Grenade defensively used, but Scorched Earth, is it enough damage? Palos just out of range here. Just barely kept alive.
Patay pa rin siya.
Chain Lightning, however, Tims is dying to Carlo. Gets up one last.
Nice one, pwede na. Okay lang, level 3 na. Mamamatay ata si Carlo. May F pa to. Salm!
And he'll get this kill come hell or high water. Down goes Carlo.
Ang ina mo, killing spree na si KP.
He's doing a fantastic
Si
job
Tapens,
advancing
tol.
top, pushing that advantage, knowing that the Meepo is just not skilling anything, not really able to do much with the CM lane, just crushing that lane, so slowing down that impact that Palos will want to get with some early stat items and levels up.
Balik Dota na eh, wait, TI 69 champ. Ayos yan.
Yung
ginawa nila si Tino sa bottom. Kaya ba nila to?
That was a perfectly timed
putang ina mo, tol.
Na-disable. Even through the Vanguard, they managed to kill him. Really high damage support duo here.
Na-stun, tol. Yung square.
MVP right now, for me, Jonathan, is certainly Tim. He's doing so much work right now in this game.
Yeah, he's just really active on the techies. He understands what he can get done with his hero. I kind of want to point out his damage. Look, his damage swing right now is 68 to 70. And that is...
Even higher now, he's just at level 4.
It's a stupid amount of damage. These universal heroes, man. For some reason, getting buffed in the C patch and...
Ganda, okay lang. 6 minutes, 6 minutes run.
Mamatay
yata yung Lich, tol. Habulin ni Bob yan. Tangina mo, cameraman, huwag kang bobo. Oh, sir, kawin nyo lang.
Although with a haste rune, that's a big one. So haste is a very big
Tulog
action
siya.
rune with the 733 change. Now you can kind of count that one out of the pool until we've gone through all of them. So DD, Regen, I would say are the next really big ones. Maybe an Invis rune, Shield rune can be a bit of an aggro rune.
Next
as well
game na ba,
for
Seb?
Mango.
Pwede, next game.
What he decides
Pwede yung
to
palipasin
do.
to, guys, yung game number 1.
Not gonna be able to dive underneath the tower.
Kung
They've
saan
got
kayo
basically an identical
puso.
ward as well here.
Parehas
So
na tropa yan.
Blacklist are not going to end up losing the clock that easily.
Ah, sir. Abo sila bukas. Day 2.
A fast game.
Best of 3 na bukas. Wala nang chamba dun sa open qualifiers.
Aggression coming out.
Oh,
Yes,
top lane.
one to connect.
Patay na naman.
To the doom and a pause.
Kamot!
Pause right
Okay
as
nang
the
ina mo,
Doom
sulap.
connects. Do Rainbow TP save him here? Can TP the Pango?
TT mo,
He's pretty
diffuse.
close, but does not have a good rune for this right now. I think this Meepo is just dead. This is Meepo Prime as well, but I think he's dead all the same.
Yeah,
Level 4.
Sir.
it's not the best time. He's been under
Kawin
a
lang
lot
yan.
of pressure. Execration has not prioritized.
pahinga yan, mamaya
Palace at
laban
all,
yan.
feels like, which will bite them.
Niyaya ko na matatapahan,
It's a
sir.
stronger
O,
start for
game daw
Raven.
sila.
You're gonna have that item
Oh.
advantage on
Mamaya
Valk.
contact house nito.
Your tempo on Meepo, it's a pressure early. It's not gonna come
Right,
out that
right.
fast. You should be able to find this, no problem.
Yeah. In the meantime, you see a line drawn on the map. This Bosco's going to try and contest for the rune. The Duke Peepo will poop over in the Meepo.
Deny sa sarili.
Self-deny. He'll get it. That's something. I mean, he's still only level 4, though, which I would say is the much more painful part about this.
Okay lang
How
ata yun,
important is it,
pero
or
sayang.
how much does that matter, given the kind of start that Tino's had at shutting down the
Nabigo
Alchemist?
ako,
He's also
Seb.
barely
KO
just
is may
level 5.
idol kanina. Kaya nga, sayang, panalo na
I
sila
think
ata
anything
dun eh.
you can do to mitigate some of these losses that you're taking on Expiration is big. You know, you're still trying to hit these timings on your Meepo. You're still trying to prevent an overwhelming start coming out from KP, which we've seen before has been a real launching point for Blacklist when he's able to dictate this game on his end. So, it looks silly. It's a little bit still awkward for Palos at this point in the game, but you waste some time. You waste Doom. So you're not going to make any rotations out of KP.
true.
You
Yeah.
leave him tied down there, and leaving that Doom tied in means that perhaps you get a good angle for Bob down the line. Perhaps you can start eyeing an RP opportunity for Tino at some point if an opportunity presents itself, with not too much to worry about in the next minute and a half.
All right, talking about mid, we'll see the second power rune spawn, and it's Illusion, probably the least exciting of the runes. Oh, well, that is, unless you just blink right on in. Nice Sonic Wave here does... Oh, wow, what was that? I don't know what Bob bounced off. Must have been some terrain there on the stairs. Bosku, though, in some trouble. Finds himself directly in the pinball zone and killed off. Ooh, the dodge! No way! Bob said it's actually one of the most exciting runes as Tim's unable to connect on the blast off there. Perfect timing for an ability that I believe otherwise might have condemned him there.
Yeah, should have been a kill. Dodge
close.
in the nick of time.
Oh, no, he's going to be okay. All right. That was incredible. Only Cuckoo to die there, and what might have otherwise been at least a 1-for-1 trade. Careful top lane. They're going to try and go on to KP now, who does have Vanguard on the way, but Tino, he's going to end up skewering him back away from the courier. Vanguard still gets delivered. We'll see if that makes any of a difference. Not at all, as Bob TP's in to collect the kill using the swashbuckle.
That's big. KP's been allowed
revenge.
to get
Revenge kills. Uh-oh. Paulo's in a lot of trouble, and yep, just lots of AoE damage, more than sufficient. He's going to go down.
It's a back and forth. I feel like you still gain more for killing off KP in terms of net worth. And if you look at the kill summaries, it is.
Oh,
the fight summary is.
This is aggressive, Bob. They knew he was nearby because of how much XP they were leeching. Heads up play there from Blacklist Rivalry. Carlo should be a very nice +1. A little maiden dessert for you. Why not? Carl's out of mana. Don't think it's going to matter. So we'll go ahead and pop the wand to commit for the kill.
That's a lot to give out to Carl, though. Like if you just stop at that loss up top, you're pretty fine. Then to lose additional in the jungle, Blacklist or laning phase has gone really well. Like they've had a pretty good understanding of what they have to get out of these lanes, which was something that felt like was lacking, especially in their series up against Talon. So this is a good correction to see immediately.
It's actually just funny seeing Tim's just throw everything he can to ruin the techie's day. As we'll take another look. Oh, here at the fight mid. What does he bounce up? He must have bounced
in the stair.
Off of the stairs, I guess. Didn't end up making that big of a difference, and Bosku's going to be the one to pay the price for it. Oh, we're going to see the illusion rune dodge. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Pretty darn nice, I gotta say. Yeah, because otherwise I was going to say, you know, normally these Queen of Pain's quite annoying heroes when they end up going for the Scream of Pain, Shadow Strike kind of a build. But Panko had otherwise been doing a pretty fantastic job at keeping the game pretty even. Thanks to these big stacks that they've got going on now in the triangle. Tom's going to have a still respectable timing here on this Diffusal Blade. But the more you can slow this, you know, the less it seems like Execration has to stop you from really getting too much in their face and going for aggressive plays like we just saw Blacklist do.
Yeah, again, a lot hinges on Bob kind of hitting those timings, setting up for the team, because you're kind of farming up in Tino as well. Like, he is playing a lot greedier on this. Magnus is not really showing up too much outside of that movement up top.
Probably see him join fights more off this Harpoon, right? As he does seem to queue up that Echo Saber.
Nalow kayo yung ano ko, headset ko, tol. Yan, okay na, tol. Narinig nyo na ako. Kalatanikin mo, Hesoyam. Sa ano, sa GTA.
Even against something like a PA, though. I mean, you just never really seem to expect a Harpoon.
Dahil nasitikin mo, naglabas ng papel dito eh. Ang GTA nandun eh.
Have mana problems. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a really strong item. That's why it's basically there on almost every Magnus pickup we see. I'm more interested in seeing what Palace is working on. He is going for his own Diffusal now in the Meepo. So trying to get a little bit more damage out early on, maybe some presence in these fights. I figured he'd go for stats, but I guess he wants to take some early activity, which, you know, with your lineup, you can't really maximize that. At the same time, it's still a risk playing Meepo into all of this AoE. You know, without the stats to back it up, you're only at 1.2k HP, you melt.
12 minutes guys, 9-5 yung score, 3k gold lead, meron yung Blacklist. Tumataas na yung level ng Blacklist. Dapat nga, hindi sila ganun kalakas ng early eh, compared dito sa X eh. Oh, sir. Sigaw yung tondo natin today.
Trying to pinch them from the triangle of the
Di
dire
sir,
side.
sila Shanks.
Team 1. The reason
Team 1.
I'm saying they should be a little bit careful is because they do have the big first item now.
Oh, sir, DPC.
Blade is finished up. When do you expect them to make a move here? I mean, they've got RP, they now got Pango roll and this Diffusal.
Diffusal si Bob, Diffusal si...
Smoke.
Yeah, I think this is the timing they need to hit. Plus the 2 supports, you've got enough control. If there are more heroes who are in the team, I think Blacklist like this 3-man rotation is really more of a single target pick-off lineup.
What did KP do with the Ring of Health, by the way? Because he had oh, hold on. We'll get back to that right now. Big ulti coming out. Carl's still alive and just barely because Carl...
Putang inang ganda, gago!
Doom as well condemns Bob. A bit unlucky there for the Meta.
No Doom si Bobby.
Right's just out of range.
Yeah, just out of range. The Doom comes in time.
Check sila dun, gago. Alam nila?
I figured they'd walk around the map, look for a pick-off. Because again, once you drag more heroes in, you do not have consistent AoE control coming out here from Execration. Like, it's very
ganda nung bait ni Carl, gago.
They see that opportunity.
Hindi rin nakagulong si Bobby eh. Kung nakagulong, pwede pa.
He does rush the Octarine up. So, it's the same build he went for last time, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy seeing the Octarine rushing the offlane. Stuff like Batrider rushing it now. Feels good. Oh,
just a little blast off his Yeah, Tim's uses mobility to
Tangina
get out
tol,
there.
Okta
Despite
rin
the
na
inhibit,
yung
just barely has enough mana to
13
pass.
minutes,
Yeah,
Okta
I
rin,
didn't know he
gago.
was selling the Ring of Health as well.
Hindi, depende yun, tol. Kadalasan Midas pa rin eh. Pag Midas kasi doble eh. May level, devour yung pera.
It probably makes sense considering you have Devour.
Mas okay yata pa rin yung Midas.
Devour, so after, I don't know, 6 or 7
Pero ewan ko,
uses,
diskarte
probably
naman
pays
yan eh.
itself.
It does. Just speeds up that farming pace. I mean, KP's had a pretty free game. He's not been pressured at all. Just allowed to farm up. He's dominated Palas for quite a fair bit of time. You are starting to give some room out for the Meepo to catch up.
Maganda yung packrat dito. Lalagyan niya ng Skadi
And
doon.
he is rushing the Ags, which it is strong, but it's not at its strongest point with only 2 Meepos. You're going to need your maxed out Divided We Stand to really feel the impact on that Ags, which is a little bit strange. I feel like Ags is a great item. It makes Meepo relevant, but it also makes him relevant only at the late game. Early on, like 2 Meepos stacked up isn't great.
And then just the freezing field just gets barely out of there. So much magic damage, and trying to chase there is going to be the Pango punish for that. Nice moves there, good reactions.
A little giggle out from Carl.
Probably a bit of frustration there as well. Careful though, Blacklist Rivalry looking to slam the door shut here. They did just see the Swashbuckle get used as well as Shields crash. Yep, immediately in with the stun. We'll see if they can burst him before he gets up the Rolling Thunder. Sinister Gaze, they have the Quap ulti and will commit it. Finding a Maiden in the mid, says she's going to let go of the freezing field.
Good tulog sila. 13-5 yung score guys. 5k gold lead.
KP actually still has the Chain Lightning. That damage is sufficient though with 4 enemy heroes here. Shanks is going to be encircled and killed off. Blacklist Rivalry.
Paano yung patalo na tayo? Patalo na tropa.
To just collapse onto
Patalo na.
They didn't look ready for that at all.
No, but I don't
Inom
think
na lang ako.
Execration's ready for any sort of movements right now. Despite some of these
Tang
item
ina mo nang
timings
kwenta yung
coming out,
Mipo dito. Tol, tangina
they
ni
tried
Game mo.
this attempt down mid. They couldn't find the kill. They
Hindi,
don't
sige
try
mo
to
yung
go for a
nag-epic
smoke
niyan eh.
again. They're just trying to work lanes. They're playing far away from where
Ang
Palos
ina
is.
tol, apat na
Similarly, they're
AoE
trying to
yun.
buy space out for this Meepo.
First
Again,
10 kills
rush
tol,
into the
Blacklist.
And Tino, by the looks of
Yeah.
things, I mean, he's
He's
not
farming.
really too close to these kind of fights, but he has finished his item, right? That's why I bring this up. He's got Harpoon now.
Kitang-kita, Blacklist ang nanalo sa first 10 kills. 14-5 yung score, 16 minutes. 7k gold lead na meron yung
So this Alchemist, we know we were
Blacklist, guys.
an Alchemist the other day, weren't we? We were talking about what kind of a lead he needs. Raven with Radiance online nearly has BKB then into Blink, so I think he's really just about getting ready to join these fights as well. I think Execration, that they have to be ready for the next one.
We have to see them connect together. And they're aiming down for mid. KP is around. They're TPing in on Blacklist for the defense.
Raven, no blink, just is going to find himself stunned here. Then in the meantime, I think creeps actually are after him. Arlo thought about chasing, but won't think better of it. Doesn't know what's waiting for him in the fog of war. The Doom immediately onto Tino. Follow-up stun as well. The War Stomp, making sure they keep their distance though, because Bob is going to be rolling around behind them. KP gets the kill. There's the Chain Frost, only bounces a handful of times. Tim's keeping himself alive with the mech, nearly enough healing, but Bob eventually has got the damage for him. Blacklist Rivalry chasing underneath the ward of Execration, but they've got the vision now, and the stuns, and the damage there as Bob is clean through clean. But Palos with 3 Meepos.
Nice
now,
one,
twice
nice
the damage
one.
for him.
Okay lang, pwede, habol.
Just for him, 1,000 for the team overall. Bosku maybe next as the move.
Ang ina nyo, hindi kayo pwede lumabad sa Mipo pag wala kayo AoE, guys.
That's a 2 for 3. I mean, kind of tough fight for you to swallow if you're Execration, but I mean, you got the tower, you got 1 core, a big kill considering the kill streak, and finally, Palos is getting involved in the fights.
He gets some good activity. He sees them commit all the AoE spells while he's not there, so he's like, all right, it's a freebie for me to come in. No Sonic Wave, no Doom. Alk not in position to counteract with his AoE stun. So you're free to do what you want, and that's a big win for the side of Execration, purely because this does accelerate Palos. He's got the Ags flying out. So Mega Meepo in play really early on. Again, I don't think this is the scary point for Meepo yet. You don't have that many stacks.
Di ko alam guys kung para saan yung aganis ni Mipo. Sabi nila pumapatong daw.
Stats to play with, but still a Mega Meepo with Empower. It's just basically like a very big carry with maybe not the fastest right click, but
Do you know? Have you seen the new fling?
Di ko alam yan tol, tingnan na natin yung mangyayari.
So in case you
Papatong daw si Mipo sa isang hero eh. Magpapatong-patong yung Mipo.
Sven was banned.
So parang malaki.
22nd or something.
Na punyeta.
Otherwise, would have been a pretty good carry pick. Speaking of the carry pick though for Blacklist, how do you think Raven's working out so far on this out? Do you think he's still striving towards that peak, or is Mega Meepo gonna bury him?
It's gonna be interesting. I'm not. I feel like the Alk is better in that matchup until you get Scotty on Meepo.
Alright, we'll see when that ends up coming through. For right now,
Tangina,
it's
takbuhan agad eh,
super
no?
confident going for a fight. Bob was in the top lane, had just TP'd there. It's only 4 heroes as well here, though, for the side of Blacklist. Carl's still a bit far, but has an arcane rune, so he'll be blinking on over relatively quickly. We'll see what they can catch. As for now, Bosku taken on a trip. Oh no, but he lets loose now on the Chain Frost. Those are some big bounces, but a lot of tanky heroes, and now a creep wave to absorb the damage.
Nice one,
barely did anything.
Yeah, didn't do quite enough. Didn't even have to Mega Meepo up as well to dodge
Pwede
it
na
out.
yun. Laman-chan din yun si Goku.
2,500 damage there from Bosku, just absolutely shrugged off by these tanks, these machines.
Yeah, just a lot of HP on hand. I mean, it bounces across Meepo. Sure, it's good damage across each one,
Di
but it's
kita
also
mana?
just damage across each Meepo.
Yeah.
Not bursting
Ayun
one
nga,
down,
no.
so you don't really care about that too much. And it's still a strong point for Blacklist. This is the time though where you start to get a little bit
ganun?
scared of what Execration can bring out.
Nakalak na yan eh, oh. Dapat di nagagalaw yan, tol.
Tino is going for the full pipe.
He has his blink now as well, and he's on to one.
The Mega Meepo.
The Mega Meepo. They have tuned the Mega Meepo with 3,000
Oh, the
HP.
RP.
Big RP onto 4. Sets up Bob for the roll of a lifetime here. The skewer, Sonic Wave, everything is getting thrown out, but Raven is the last one standing here. Execration are going to be wiped here 1 by 1. They're on to Bob. Shanks doing what he can from the sideline, but Raven is eating good here. A +2 as he's going to kill on to Bob. Seems like
Buhay,
Carl's
gago.
gonna
Ubos yung
alive
exe.
despite that little bird chasing him down, and it turns into a
Tangina
full
mo.
team wipe despite what looked
Sabo
like
pa.
an amazing counter initiation.
I mean, it's a great RP, but where's your follow-up?
Ganda nung
Meepo
RP, kaso
tuned
namatay
up.
si
You can't
ano?
just stand there and hit people. You get focused down by this Alchemist. Really good angle to find from Raven and from KP just TPing in, getting the blink off. You have to respect that from Execration. They just play a little bit too far forward, and they get caught out. Like, the Meepo can still be burst. Again, your Mega Meepo form right now isn't the strongest. You don't have your max amount of Meepos. You don't have the most stat items coming out yet, so when you stack up your Meepos, it's not as much HP as you'd hope for. And it is easily punishable. Like, this is still the time where Blacklist can be strong. We are still yet again approaching the point where Execration can take that fight forward. With the blink up on Palas, it feels like what Execration need to do is still look for pickoffs, right? This lineup is still geared towards just jumping in, getting the Mystic Flare off,
A skewer back out of position.
a skewer back into position as well, but
Siguro
going for a
tondo
5-man
natin,
RP,
guys.
it looks great. You don't really have the follow-through outside of maybe just a full freezing field.
Bit lackluster there.
But yeah, it's not like you can even expect Carlo to just hold that. Still,
Is this the
Roche
thing?
opens.
Yeah, early.
Yan, kunin nyo na yan, Roshan kayo,
somewhat
guys.
early Roche. I know you've got lots of damage here, Curtis.
Sana makuha, tol, bago sila makapunta. Putang ina mo.
Meepos as well to go around to tank it.
Blacklist are around.
Yeah, it's-
Gago, abutan sila, tol.
Good ward up though for X.
Ay! Putang ina nyo!
Where is their ward? It's a bit more in the lane though, so with this movement, seems like Blacklist, with their ward as well on the high ground, had a little bit of superior vision here in this moment. Roche as well, less than half HP is kind of a tantalizing target here for Blacklist, but they know they need to take the fight first. Scan as well, out from Execration. Raven's just going to move in. This is going to be a bit aggressive here. There is an RP available and a Rolling Thunder. Vision's now all out. Since Execration are going to be picked up here just barely as their smoke does break. Bob from the side, getting ready to go on in. Roche falling quickly. There's going to be the Chemical Rage used as well. Bob revving up the engine. In he goes. Roche finds a bash. So Carl's going to be the one to pick up the Aegis. And for now, both teams seeming no KP's in. He wants to find a target.
Gagong pangit ang talon ni yan, Bob, dun.
That's Carlo dead. Execration now. They're looking for a way out of this one. Over the land
Putang
bridge they
ina,
go.
sigaw.
What's that? The Balder, isn't it? From Lord of the Rings, who gets stopped at the
Yun lang.
Yeah.
Pangit ang nangyari, tol.
path right there.
Yeah, that is.
1K lang, tol.
And they do manage to get away.
Putang
Not
ina mo,
pass
sigaw.
this time around for Execration, but at a massive loss. Aegis up for Carl.
Si Baba tayong carry dito, tol. Buhati mo na yan, Bob.
I was just surprised
Okay, nang
Execration
ina.
that they could do it that quickly, honestly. I didn't know if maybe this is some Meepo strat. Well, certainly a Meepo strat is killing supports for free unless they counter initiate on you. That's a lot of damage. And Raven goes in the RP, not
Wala.
saving Palos.
Tang ina mo,
And
gege.
just condemn Tino. Trying to TP out of this one, but Sonic Wave cuts him down. What in the world? Bosku actually creating space. Look at that. There's a Doom as well.
Tang ina, tas
They
nadumba si
managed to
Bob,
find
gago.
farming in the,
Nyari.
jungle. KP is going to be able to just kind of walk him down. Tier 2 tower, be damned, and as do you, Bob.
I mean, they're on point, Blacklist. Execration forcing out a lot of these pickoffs, but not respecting that Blacklist. They're right next to TP points. They've been grouping up much more.
Map to na to, tol. Wala na to.
We saw Palos even go into
15k gold lead, 25-11 yung score.
Really awkward
Kalaban yung
positions.
Alke dum, ano,
And
Tegis, Kyop.
it's getting tough now for Execration. Like Blacklist have everything they could possibly
Ang ina,
ask for at this
kahit
point.
idasal mo to, tol,
Huge,
wala na to eh.
KP's huge. You've got a lot
Pag
of
tumalon yung
options to
Mipo
play
dito,
with.
mamamatay na nato sa
Whereas for
AoE.
Execration, they don't have that map control that we were talking about that Mipo does need. He's not denied space away from Blacklist cores. His own space was denied away by Blacklist instead. And he's just not that Mega Meepo just yet. Even with the Mega Meepo form, it's not big enough.
No, not working out for him. And that's another item now for this out progression as he continues to get bigger and bigger, right? BKB on top of the Blink Radiance and now his newest addition, AC. Just a great item here that minus
Hindi pasok dito yung kulang sa dasal to. Kahit dasal to, Seb, wala na to.
I mean, eventually they have to make some of these RPs
Uy,
count.
si Makoy to ah.
You know, is what I feel like. I think
Sir Makoy is back.
that's going to be the great equalizer here or something because it's just not coming together right now for Execration. We'll see who gets this shard from the Tormentor. We'll go to Shanks. Okay, everyone says this one's useless. We'll see.
I mean, it's all right because you can stack up a lot of armor. You can get quite a fair bit of int now.
And the hero needs armor. He's got 3 base.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but I mean, looking at Shanks, I always feel like Phylactery on Skywrath Mage is a bit of a bait. That at least feels way better. Just durability you can pass on to your teammates. It's utility. Phylactery's like, yeah, all right, you get a slow off, you get some damage off. It's kind of nice, but
I could see the appeal.
I mean, it's appealing, but yeah, it's like it doesn't do enough for your team in comparison
It's
to
like a solo kill item because I can imagine that's really good with Ancient Seal into Mystic Flare, lots of slows.
Lungkot.
Doesn't end up being that powerful. KP's in. He wants to Doom a Meepo. He's been silenced though. Let's see if he still wants to drop the Doom. Indeed, he will. I think it's a Mega Meepo though, isn't it? He is a tanky boy, 3,500 HP. Do they have the damage now? Carl's in. War Stomps as well, doing everything they can to try and get the kill here on Apollos as they're going to get the BKB off on a Raven right after he's RP.
Wala, walang kwenta. Tangina, sayang pera yung Aganims, gago.
Onto the Sonic Wave entirely for that, and now Execration
Ang
trying
inang
to bail out of
Aganims
this
yun.
fight. Shanks with only 4 stacks of Shield of the Scion, not nearly enough to save
Bugbog
him
ang
here.
putang ina.
And that's 2 heroes dead. Blacklist, they
Tang
just
ina
keep
ni Raven,
finding
naglag ko.
initiations. KP, he's just getting them all right.
Yeah, he's been. Again, KP has looked like the shining light here for Blacklist in their past few games. Feels like this guy is just. He's bounced back in the offlane in really strong form. This is stronger form than I saw him in Talon, to be quite frank with you. Like, he looks a lot better even from those days.
All right.
And he looks really revitalized. So,
Praise.
yeah, he's been playing his heart out, KP. It looks like he's just been itching to come back in. And certainly showing Execration. It's looking. I mean, it's been looking
Malakas
rough for
tawa
the
ni
past,
Gabi nito.
maybe the entire game.
I would say
Wala na, hindi na
ever
nagpapakita yan si Gabi eh.
ever since
Facebook
Team
lord na lang
Major
yan si
was
Gab.
bottom, and
Hindi ko
they
na-
get the kill onto the Magnus. The game has been rough since then, in my opinion.
I'd argue earlier on when you died twice in Palos, that's
I mean,
already a bad sign.
that's certainly.
Alam ko
rough.
magkakatim na
Up
si
until
Seb eh.
then, I would say two
Ano kaya
was
team
having an
ni
excellent game.
Kuya mo
And then he
Gabay?
got an amazingly timed harpoon.
Sana
and then
magkatim na
he
si
was up
Gabi.
4, and then nothing
Tangina kasi ng mga haters, mga kupal eh.
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, something broke here for Execration. It seems
Lost
like
ni
normally-
Gabi eh.
and still has always taken me by surprise, John. So I'm not counting them out of this one yet.
I mean, this is also a bit of a surprise, right? So that statement's not necessarily false.
I mean, I guess so, right? If you look at the form that Execration's shown us this week versus the form that Blacklist showed us this week, even if Blacklist did just take a 2-0 versus Bleed, if I'm not mistaken, Blacklist looked good in that game.
Yeah.
It really looked pretty darn good.
They've shaped up. If only I feel like a lot of people are just saying if only they shaped up earlier, then maybe you'd have a different
Vindicator,
story
tax pa yung
in
nakuha ang
Tour
puta.
2.
Plus damage. Plus
Past
damage
is
yun
the
alam ko eh.
past. I'm going back to this timing from Execration.
Ayun o, plus
I
30
feel like a lot
damage
of this
pag
comes down to this pretty much
naka-silence.
second item pickup Ags on Meepo. Like again, Mega Meepo is great.
20
But
armor
Mega
pag
Meepo is only
naka-stun.
great when each of your
Ganda.
Meepos has enough to stack up with you. You don't really have status items. You have a
Yeah.
Diffusal Blink, 2 Wraith Bands. It's not enough for you to be like a 7k HP Mega Meepo right
I
now.
think right now Blacklist Rival, they're just straight up too tanky.
Yeah.
Pop has what?
Hindi
40,
ubra yung
30
all
something
Filipino
armor, 33
experiment.
armor, SNY, and Shivas.
Ba't ayaw bigyan ng super
Doom
carry
has
hero
got
si
3100
Lospa? Di ko nga alam tol eh.
Almost got refreshed.
No? Dapat yun na lang yung ginagawa nila.
And there's a heart. There's a heart on Raven and an AC.
Bigyan nila na si Bob ng Space Maker sa mid. Bigyan nila ng super carry si Sulap.
Earlier, I was convinced Blacklist Rival were gonna have damage issues getting through the
Tang ina, Chot Reyes ata si Kimo.
This Rolling Thunder back has not been
Chot Reyes ang na-experiment ang puta.
He's a Palos here. Palos calls
Ayun o, ang ina mo, tanga tol.
They're gonna try and make a play now. In they go, a skewer back is gonna come up.
Tang ina mo, pinatay ng Champions yung carry.
Palos as well. That just absolutely unleashes Raven. Picks up the kill there.
Kaya nga, sure farm si Palos pag carry. Ay, na yun, no?
Got doomed and focused, didn't he?
Super carry. Tang ina mo, disband na, Exetol.
No.
Disband na daw eh.
I think that was 4 stacks of Shield of the Sign aren't gonna save Shank. Down he goes. Bob, he can't even get off the darn Rolling
Ang ina
Thunder
mo,
before his Sonic
sinonik
Wave
web sa
blown
mukha.
up. This one might be over. I think this one's too far gone. 27k.
It's pretty hard to recover from this point.
Wala na,
You didn't
disband
get
na
that
Exe,
running
guys.
start from Your
Ang ina nyo, Exe pa more.
build-up is not ideal.
Ghosted us after 2 or 1.
Yeah, and he's still haunting us here right now.
Might be watching the game right now. Who knows?
Yeah, and if he is, I mean, that's a great use of his voice line there.
Yes, it is.
But for Execration, I mean, this is a rough one to stomach. You know, you get your pocket pick, Meepo.
Yeah.
You feel like it's a good game. Palos has delivered spectacular
They
performances on
picked it into the Doom as well, but this might be a moment. There's no Aegis here on Raven. He's gonna try and fight through this one. Chemical Rage.
Ayun no, putang ina mo, tinalunan lang oh.
He's turned to a Mega Meeple. There's gonna be at least the RP, so Palos is
Wala na, pandisbanan na to, tol.
gonna have to buy back. Freezing Field. They're throwing everything they have at the Raven. A big old blast off from the Meepo. Finds 2. That's gonna be Tino down. The dime back as well immediately for Carlo as Bob doing what he can, trying to pick off the stragglers here, but he can barely catch Tim's here once on the stun, twice as well, but just where's the follow-up damage? KP threatening to drop another Doom here with the refresher, but R's already done so. Bob being controlled, Raven and company turn as Palos, who's Bob back, is now going to be caught by the Sinister Gaze. Raven letting loose into him. That's a dig out from the
Come out to
Meepo,
Victor.
so it saves him momentarily.
Come on, too big.
For how much longer? I mean, this is just unsustainable, Jonathan.
It's not sustainable at all from the side of Execration.
Kasi may tubig mo.
Finding some plays, but not quite enough. There is an interesting interaction. I was thinking about this one. If you don't do Meepo properly,
Ayun, naalis pala.
you still see the Doom on the tiny Meepo.
Ah,
And then-
putang aga pa gago.
It's kind of funny.
He has absolutely no chance.
Okay, sige. Tapusin ko ba ito, tol? Yung best of 3. Sunod na ako dun. Tapusin ko na itong best of 2
No, it's not. It's still at the bottom bear.
Yeah, we still have one way.
Oo.
But 37k behind, again, not getting that running start you'd want from the Meepo.
No.
Not having the damage follow.
Sayang. Putang ina kasi. Takasi natin, sige mo, bash natin.
I think they're...
Putang ina nun eh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, huh?
That was a little scary. Tino probably regretted using that harpoon after he saw the BKB came out.
Yeah.
Pasok kay Jesse Bash
I
yun.
mean, not the biggest waste at all. KP got refresher. Worst case scenario, obviously going to save that for the double Doom, but...
Wala na, tanga, disband na Exe.
Now, this Doombringer. In fact,
Si Terong yun, putang ina, pangit pa rin.
Only 4k behind
Hindi mo nagbabago mukha ni Terong eh. As usual, pangit pa rin.
And you've got the full Ags up and running now on Carl. So even more AoE damage coming out with the Shadow Strike as well. I mean, again, a Meepo can kind of avoid it. I'm wondering if those stacks still come out of the sub-Meepos when Mega Meepo is up and they're all affected. I'm not
Tang ina, hard carry nyo na si Palos mo. Gago, tigilan nyo na yung kakasabo nyo, gago.
That's the way that Execration.
There you go. That's
Kaya,
the condition.
ayun ako tulad ni Raven, oh. Bigyan yung hard carry na isa. Puta sa bayan na.
3-3 tower now. Did not take the Chemical Rage base attack time, by the way. Oh, they're looking for the counter initiation, but Cuckoo
Ang ina mo,
there in
dinum
time
lang,
with
tol.
the save. It's not his fault this time around. Tino, just nothing he could do. Bob is at least delaying this, but just doing that here as Raven immediately gets back to work. It's going to be a Mystic Flare now on top of Boss. They might be able to get through him, but he's already let loose here.
Dalawa pa yung na-stun. Putang ina mo, winib. Pak, okay nang ina nyo, disband. Ulol.
They just styled on them, John.
Tang ina.
41 to 11 from Blacklist, beating up a team that, you know, they've been going to majors the past 2 tours. They've surprised us, especially I think in Tour 2 was the biggest surprise for me watching them, considering again their performances on lands have been a little.
Ayun na, sisihan na,
I
tanga.
have high hopes for Execration, right? You're like, all right, they're not doing well in majors, but when they come back to see they look like a solid team, this is not looking like the Execration from the last 2 tours. Right
Baka
now.
nasa Abed
Looks
era
lost.
pa rin
To be
yata si
fair, I
Kimo.
think Blacklist just looks
Oh,
really strong. Like,
shit.
they've improved a lot
Ganang
just taking
ina nyo,
KP in.
disband.
We had our hot takes a while ago. I don't think it's a hot take from Adam, you know? I don't think it's a hot take.
I don't think it is anymore. I mean, that and KB's just a stone cold killer. You just see him, he didn't have any reaction, no emotions when the camera went on over to him. Just said, give me the next game. Give me another Doom. He's just looked so good in all of these games. And I wonder just how high his ceiling is here, along with this Blacklist International team, Blacklist rivalry team, pardon me. We'll see, as Execration is going to get at least another go at them here. That was just game 1. We're going to go ahead and send it over to the panel to break down what happened just a bit more.
Blacklist really starting off this season 10 times better than last season. But I
Sorry
have a
na yun,
question
sir.
for
Baka
you
maano tayo.
guys. What
Baka-
is
baka
the
sumigaw yung live
point
natin dyan.
of going mode Mega
Baka
Meepo
ma-copyright
and
ako.
getting doomed?
Wala eh,
Going to
mayabang
deep
ako kasi.
Okay, that hurts. But
Tol, inom na
I mean,
daw,
it's
tol!
so sad 'cause, like, you buy
Ang ina mo, napanay kang
sorry,
pambababae.
Mega Meepo, and you just
Andiyan si Page?
you
Yung Page?
do that, the rest of the four
Yung
Meepos will be able to do
kinumenta ko ng
something.
high. Wala dyan. Tangina
I
zero
feel
yan
like
pag ganyan.
Execration, someone
Sayang
with
investment
teams
dyan.
to take over drafting is not working
Walang
out for
babae,
them.
tas naglalaro kayo
They
party.
need a
Tangina
change
na yan,
somewhere,
waste of time.
and I think that's probably the place that they can target the most.
Kart,
right
doon
now.
na tayo sa
Yeah,
maliwanag.
at this point, I'm gonna.
Tayo
play
na huwag nyo
much
sayangin
like
oras
the
nyo nagpa-party
previous
kayong dalawa, gago.
I mean, I'm serious. It's worth it. And they look like totally.
Kaya nga,
different team
donation,
now.
tol.
Sure, last major. and
20k
probably
daw, game 2.
Still fine.
Di sir, nandyan, di daw siya uwi kasi
when they can't,
uwi na
they
kayo
can't
bukas
really
eh.
pick what was working before, like all the strats that
Ganyan ka
they've
na
been
kamahal.
using
Ganyan ka
before.
namin kamahal.
They're struggling to find new things, you know. So it's telling me that maybe all the previous ideas they all came from March. So once he's gone,
Tangina, bigla
There's
dumami
nothing new
tao
coming
ah.
Yeah. I mean, to start off already with one loss in the series.
Na, disband na
There's
XA,
still the
nag-usap-usap
rest
sila
of the
guys oh.
series to go, but I mean, it's
Di
just
disband na ni Joby.
comes to show that Execration don't look like they were in the same form as they once did.
Ha?
yeah, I don't understand why they're doing this Husker Meepo shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Wala
not-
na,
they're
tanga,
not the
nag-usap-usap na
weaker
sa
team.
labas guys. Ito lang,
I
siya na
don't feel
sila.
like you're in a position where if I play standard
Ano lagay?
Dota, I have no chance, you know. Like that's what
Ano
I
nilalaro
would
nila,
usually
Seb?
do if I
ROO?
feel like my team has no chance against the other team. So I try to cheese.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. They should be at least on even footing with Blacklist in terms of like skill and just execution.
Silipin ko
I
sila
think
sa
they
labas
showed in the
guys.
Blade series that they're
Oo,
already
hard carry
super
talaga.
sick
Bigyan nyo, tangin ang
and
ganda ng
they
RP.
can take
Isipin mo kung hard
advantage of
carry
their
yun.
lineups, but
Sa bagay, hindi rin mangyayari yun
They
kung hindi mamatay yung
trapped
Meepo.
in this second pick hole right now.
Yeah, it's just not looking good at all. What do you guys think Execration need to do to take it back? But just fix the draft? Is that the answer?
I think number one, they need to be first pick because they suck at second pick.
Team meeting.
Team meeting.
Team
They
meeting.
need a team meeting.
Team huddle.
They just lose the next
Oh,
game.
umuwi na
quicker,
yun.
Go to the team meeting, get everything over with, and
Ano, bus na
decide
eh.
what they want to do next. I don't see how they can fix this problem. Is so big. I don't think you can change or fix this problem right away. It's
Oo,
more about
tangin
just
mo
doing
naman,
it.
makikiinom nun,
Whatever
duduraan pa ang
trial
puta.
that you think can work. Keep things simple, and if it doesn't, just
Nista
go
ko pa
for
naman
the
yan,
team
kinakapon
meeting.
pa yan eh.
Yeah, you know,
Hapon pa.
I'm very actually impressed with the way Blacklist are playing. Funny enough, our bracket kind of looks like it's flipped right now, where you have
Durog,
Bleed
durog,
closer
durog,
to the
durog.
top. I mean, besides talent,
Durog
you
na
have, like,
durog.
Bleed closer to the top, you have Blacklist rising
Di
up
tol,
there,
puta
SMG
kahit
and
sa
Execration
angulo,
are
hindi
both
pangit
kind
yung
of
pick na ano dun.
falling.
Di naman tanga yung kalaban nyo eh.
Yeah,
Mipo,
I don't
nagmipo
really
ka,
know
puta,
what
tala mo,
happened
naka-reveal na
here.
yung
They seem
apat.
to be very lost.
Kyop,
Like,
Tekis,
they are
Doom, tsaka Lich.
trying to be creative with their drops.
Isang
like I
Champions
did,
lang
but
yun,
they don't
tatamaan,
seem
tatamaan
to
yung Mipo dun eh.
even understand what they are doing.
It's like the
Baka nga
restaurant
pinractice
lost
nila
the
yun.
chef and they're trying to get the cleaner to cook now. That's what I feel.
That's a good
Pwede.
analogy.
Hindi, gagawin na, last pick ano sila eh. Last pick
Winter's
Skyrat eh.
mode roast. We should have had Winter here on
Eh
the
kung
hot
nag-Phoenix
takes.
sila, magsi-CM sila.
He's the
CM4.
final opponent.
He's the final boss.
5 Phoenix. Pangit nun.
There's the GG
Dalawang 5 yun.
call.
Monta ka.
Tears.
Dapat talaga hindi Mipo. Kung hindi
Tears
Mipo, hindi ka
from
mag-Phoenix eh, di ba?
But
Diba?
here's
Ganun lang yun, ganun lang
Carl,
kasimple.
our match MVP. Queen of Pain,
Sayang.
15-114, screaming everywhere,
Maya pa mo ng 5K.
showing them who's boss.
Magkataya mo?
You guys like how he
5K ka
played?
din.
Even Quap against Meeple, it's like good, right? With the Ags.
Okay lang yan.
Just Shadow Strike 5, then they scream at each other. Is that why he went Mega?
Putang ina mo, suicide
Oh,
yun.
so you can
There's no
scream at him?
boom, yeah.
Kung ganun,
Me
ganun lang
instead.
ipipick nila, wala yun. Sigaw.
No idea, man.
X eh.
Yeah.
I mean, the old patches, sure I can understand because the root is very good against the people. You got to kill the. I mean, it's very good against the quad. But right now, I don't think the matchup is the
Uy!
same anymore.
Para sa sarili ko.
It's just unfortunate how Execration are
Magdi-deliver daw si John D, Seb, para sa sarili niya. Sarap ah. Puta, narinig ko ah.
We'll be back right after.
Dito masakit sa tenga yun ah. Didisband na yata yung XA guys after nito. 0-1 na guys. Update lang natin yung score. Okay na, disband. Update lang natin yung score guys ha. May iba lang. Kaya nga, pangit talaga numipo dun dol. Kahit kayo nung utang yung tanong yun, walang patong-patong yung Maple, tumas yung buhay. Putang ina mo, 5 net yung lumabas, gago. 4. Ang kapal nung net na lumabas ang puta. Ang ina, low moral yung mukha din siyang. Sa bagay, kahit panalo si Shanks guys, low moral yung akum nun eh. Ano pinost si Gabi? Posto si Gabi, check natin. Siyempre, walang team yan eh. Tamang panira lang din yan. Sa bagay, ganun din naman tayo eh. So, sino problema? Open ni Kuku o post 5 ni AU? Gagawa tayo problema. Di mabash blacklist, ayaw matalo. Sheesh! Tama. Maganda nga ito. Putang ina ni Gabi, no? Upal din eh, no? Di maglalaro pa yan. Wala lang ata kumukuha sa kanya eh. Kinuha na siya? Ha? Ayaw nyo kasi siya yung weaklings doon. Sa bagay, dati kasi hindi winning team ang Blacklist eh, di ba? Yung si Ayo yung isa. Tapos papasok si Gabi. Tapos pag di nanalo ang Blacklist, sisihin si Gabi. Bagay, may
We are back to this Filipino brawl where Blacklist Rivalry took the first game off of Execration.
Oo, zap na mid na to siguro next season.
Welcome back everyone to the DPC 2023 Southeast Asia Summer Tour. I'm your host Sophie, and I've got my amazing, wonderful, super intelligent panelists with me. I'm talking about both of you guys this time. What did you guys think of last game? Let's do a little recap before we go into next.
I feel like as much as Execration didn't really have that great a draft, I feel like if they just picked that Phoenix last pick, they actually had a chance.
Plug him in.
Had a chance.
This
Like
is
that bottom
hard
fight,
to
they
do.
got the
Nagloko na
RP,
naman.
you know, they didn't
Nagloloko
do
yung
save.
ano ko.
I feel like the Scarab just didn't do anything. He went for some 4-1-1 build, bot factory, like, okay, cool. That's what you
Ah,
get.
pag
Ranger
nililiitan,
does not seem
okay.
impressed with what you're saying.
Ayun, pag
Imagine if you
nililitan.
max the slow. No, it's right. You know, if you max the slow, he RPs 4 heroes, you would actually do more
Yeah.
damage with the slow with the AOE.
That's true.
Yeah, that build
Impressive
is like
shot.
that build is like a freaking meme. You know, like if you look at Antares, I would say that he's probably the best Skyra player, and he doesn't do that.
It's a debate.
Feels good in the pubs, but
Post natin yan,
in the
trap,
actual
post
game,
natin.
I don't feel
Tangina,
like it's
dapat
that
si
good,
Pacbet
but
na lang
in
yung
the games where
nag-coach
you're
sa ano eh.
winning, whatever you build is gonna feel good.
So, I'm not a pro, obviously, and I've never been a pro. But when you're in a situation like that, and you have a teammate, you see your Skyrim
Tingnan natin.
buddy
Kung ako
going,
papapiliin ah.
what, 4-1-4? Do you tell him, like, do you ask him, like, what are you doing, or do you just let him do his thing?
I think we would say something.
You would say something?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I think
it's
people
probably
know
not the
different.
first time he did it in
Yeah,
a scream or
probably.
something.
Probably. I mean, I feel like maybe the build is good in a different situation, but this way I feel like he was just there to deliver burst damage, you know, and he wasn't like some long drawn out fight. Skyrav's gonna do a lot of damage. It wasn't. He was like RP boom my ult, you know, or Meepo net boom my ult. That was his purpose.
Maybe
in the game,
without the Meepo, the Sky would have actually been fine if they had like a normal hero.
yeah,
normal
possibly,
carry.
possibly.
So you don't think it's any sort
Go
of
to Tia
miscommunication?
yun.
They were very aware of what
Tia,
was
Tia.
going on.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right, well, let's get the draft of
Tang
Game
ina,
2
dala pa agad ang
Series
bilis,
3 going
gago.
on. Our bans are Dusa, Doom, Ench, and Beast.
What was the Doom ban previously?
The Doom ban?
Yeah, the Doom was in the game, right? So
Yeah,
what was
Doom
the
was in
other
the
ban?
The Beast Ench is the same. Yeah.
Rubik?
Yeah, Rubik.
Yeah.
Rubik. Yeah, Rubik.
Okay. So there's no Doom now. Do they go Magnus again? I feel like they
Report
should.
Slark ang
Magnus Rubik?
puta. Sad story, gago.
Let's see on the ban.
Medyo masakit sa
Yeah,
puso,
they
tol.
really have to take the Rubik, but I feel like just
Sigaw yung Tondo
Shanghai
records
Rubik is
natin.
Really nice to have.
Do you actually lane the Rubik against the techies because you can stop the blast off with the leaf?
You can try. You can try. I feel like the techies is the sticky bombs, the annoying thing. The blaster is like kind of whatever.
Coddle 2 does a little blinding light and you stop the blast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
I've seen the flame breaks happen a lot too.
that's more reliable than the Rubik leaf.
Yeah, it
Wow,
really is a bit.
that was the most validated you've ever made me feel, Winter.
What?
You're like, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the teams do it. Okay, so CM Magnus again.
Why do you think this CM hero is so popular? I feel like we see it more often than not.
I mean, the hero's strong. I feel
Bawi
good
yan,
when I
tol,
play the
bawi.
hero in the lane. He's very good in the lane. I mean, not so strong right now because of the 20 damage nerf on the Nova, but she's still really strong in the game because the Frostbite is I feel like the
the root.
imba part, you know, the root, the cast range, they buff so many things about the hero. She has a really good shot. The twin gates benefit her a lot because you want to run around. She's very similar to Skyra. You win your lane, you want to win the second lane, the side lanes. And the aura is very good in the team fights, you know. Like sometimes people underestimate how every time in the team fights you don't have mana, right? The CM goes next to you, boop, boop, 2 spells and then, yeah, I have mana. Because she just gave me mana. And then you get to cast another extra spell. You don't see that statistic in the team fight.
They pick up the Bat Rider.
New hero. I wonder whose bad rider is going to be. Is it going to be Carl or KP?
Probably.
I mean, probably
Carl,
Carl,
right?
but who knows? Might be a flex
Kailangan
one.
nilang bumawi,
I think it
guys.
could be a flex, right? Because Bear Rider offlane, like I said before, you are very good in the offlane and you pick him early because you can just ignore the matchup and you can always Firefly and
Stack
farm.
Ancients too, right?
And you can farm the camps, you pull the wave and you farm. So I feel like Bear Rider has kind of become, offlane Bear Rider has kind of become like the Beastmaster before. You can just pick the hero out early. You don't care about the lane counter because you just skill X and you push the crit wave, you get the farm, you harass with it. So I guess it can be the same thing with Bat. You just drag the wave.
Kung
you
may
need a couple of
Kukos
levels
Bolt,
and you just
meron
drag
din
the
bang
wave, farm the
Kimoy-
camps
Kimos
on the
Bolt?
side.
Yeah, that's an 8 pick too, so it's easy to ban for.
Tayo,
If
sige
they
mo
want
na
to,
si
they
Sisi,
can, like,
no?
remove the Slark PL kind of heroes right here if they want to put in the offlane.
Do you think they need to remove Oracle or it's not a problem?
Nah, no care.
No care.
No care.
So just remove Slark.
I feel like
Yeah.
Dota is like.
Hindi daw kawawa
the
si
difference
Kimon
from
sa
Dota
ano,
before is that right now you
Bashes,
just
ah.
play the map as much as you want. You actually don't have to fight until you are ready, until you see this Oracle. I feel like before, when Dota was much faster paced and people like force objectives and fought more, you actually need to be able to take these early team fights where you care about the stage.
But
and all
Oracle, I
that stuff.
feel like he's a bit broken with the Fate's Edict right now. Like he's actually super strong. We don't get to see him much in SEA games yet, but I feel like the hero is actually so so annoyingly busted. Like if you know how to use it and abuse it, because it's like a free BKB, you're pushing high ground, right? Because we always talk about how hard it is to push high ground. Imagine right now you can put the Fate's Edict on the carry and he just hits the tower for free.
Yeah, that's true. We saw like 2 games of Oracle today. It didn't really go well in one of them, but it is a good pick against bad techies. Even without the false promise breaking lasso, like Fate's Edict is super value right against their heroes.
Faces void ban, so they wanna deal. They don't want the Bat Rider to deal with time
Kailangan nilang
directions, I guess.
bumawi.
The Bat Rider is still
Ba't
kinda
hindi si
open
Kurt
for them.
nag-go
They'll
siya,
decide
kasi wala
later
naman
whether
laban yung
it's,
Blade.
Mid hero or offlane hero because they ban void.
Dami.
Both the voids.
Nadadami
Faces
kasi ibang
void and
tao
void
ang
spirit.
puta.
So Execration 1 Pango and Blacklist 1
Ang
TB
ina nyo
right
talaga
now.
eh,
I
no?
think
Sasamahan
based
ng
on
ugali
the
nyo eh.
fans.
Lalo ka na, Baldo.
Pango's a
Ako sobrang
decent
kupal mo
matchup
na.
against the Bat Rider.
How about the co-op again? Co-op
For,
Bat-
for XCTN instead of Black.
yeah, the co-op against Bat Rider.
I'm not really sure how the lane goes actually. I feel like there was a point where Pop would dominate, but I think that right now if you don't die in the lane, eventually you clear Ancients and you're same net worth and the Pop doesn't feel as good. Because it's really hard to invade the deeper Ancients.
Bawi lang.
What do you think of the bans?
And pretty straightforward for the double void, and for excretion they ban out Timber and Bloodseeker. Just Timber is like just a good hero against Magnus. Bloodseeker probably like what Adam said, probably suggested
Slark as well. Right?
Pango, yeah,
Pango,
maybe Slark.
For the Bad Rider. Would make sense.
Rubik's still available, so do you think Blacklist will pick it up considering how Cuckoo's been playing on it?
I'm not sure. I feel like both
Din
these
si
teams
Goku
don't really
nagbaban pa ng hard
prioritize
carry,
it,
hindi
but
na
they're good
bibigyan
at
si
it.
boss ng hard carry.
I'm not sure if you want Rubik now that you have
Si-
the Bad Rider. They're
si
kinda
ano nagwala dyan,
similar
tol?
in role, but it is against a Magnus, and this instant lift is always gonna be good.
Yeah, I feel like the first two here already, they all have so many good
Yeah,
spells to steal.
Always a good.
Ang
Rubik.
nagbaban dyan or nag-decide pa rin talaga
If it's a bad Rubik
si
game,
Mike.
it means that the enemy has a shit graph. Can I just say that? Because
That's
if you
true.
think if you're Rubik and there's nothing to steal, it probably means their heroes are all trash.
That's true. They do ban the Terrorblade. A fan favorite.
Ayun nga, no?
Yeah, the Void Ban kind of. Why did they ban TV?
Actually, yeah, why? They have Bad Rider.
I feel like they wanted the.
Yeah, if anything, they.
Yeah, I thought they wanted the TV. Maybe just don't want to pick against Magnus. You know, you get caught in this like empowerment gameplay where you don't want to play against these illusions. Magnus and CM both really good against illusions. I just thought it was a very Raven hero, and you know it kind of fits their draft. They have this lasso, you know, take
In
big
what
fight.
carry would you say is good against Magnus? Like before the Spectre, right? Like Spectre Ursa kind of hero. Like what else you think is good right now against the RP?
Ursa Slark. Good against RP. Usually one Aegis heroes, right? Like TA. I feel like one heroes that can live. I think it's more about your team. Like, can you live through the RP? Because I feel like Magnus is. It's very seldom that the game is you get RP then you die. You know, I think if you
Oh,
get to that
tama,
point in
tama
the
yung
game,
sinasabi
you
ng
I mean,
can't
how
do
about Elk? You know, you just get an Elk because Elk likes to play against heroes that rely on long cooldown spells. Then you can just keep fighting. You know, once RP is used, you get objectives, you get Roche, and everything.
Oh, there's your Oracle.
It's just really, really good. I feel like the hero is actually so busted. The hero is so strong.
I agree with you. I just don't think teams know how to play around it very
Like
well.
even as a position for like say you want to put Oracle on pause for, I really feel like the value is still there. You know, the spells are just so strong, so powerful.
Yeah, there's so much mana now too. Blacklist response here. I feel like they need some assassin kind of hero.
Magnus na
Somebody
naman.
to
Eh,
stop the
sige
backline.
sa
Even
Magnus
like a
CM
Naga would
Oracle.
be okay right now. But I don't think they'll pick the carry here.
If they don't
Ang
pick
ina
the
mo,
carry,
may
then they have to
nagpapaload
pick
pala.
like a hero that can flex with the bat, right? You need like
Ah,
a hero,
yup.
if you want to keep
Di
the
ko
draft
nakita.
open, the hero has to be interchangeable with the bat, the two mid heroes.
I feel like you just pick Pango here.
Just pick Pango.
Yeah. It's good against the Oracle,
Oracle.
and this, yeah.
There's the Rubik. Ooh, they bound.
So if they pick Pango, I guess Excretion should pick Ember.
Ember, yeah.
Why is that?
The lane matchup, the chains is very good against the Pango.
A really good Empower user as well.
Oh, true.
We haven't seen the Tiny with the Magnus yet. That's something I want to see as well. I don't think Tiny is very weak right now.
Which role? You mean as a carry
As a
or
mid.
as a mid?
Yeah.
So do you go like
No, you just go
the Axe,
normal,
or just
Echo
go normal?
Saber, break it into Aghanims.
I mean, it sounds kind of fun with the Empower RP.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be very popular, right? Ember, Tiny, probably top two. I think Void Spirit is like people's choice right now, but I feel like Tiny is a better hero in some sense.
Tiwala pa tayo game 3, tol. Mag-hard carry yata sila, tol. May Alke. Ay, may ano, Oracle.
Empower.
Pang anti-sniper, ano, anti-tekis, tsaka ano,
Pick for them, I think.
Batrider.
Left in the pool
Pwede.
for execution.
Maganda yung pick nila dito.
Lifestealer?
I mean, it depends on what Blacklist pick, right?
Solid.
Blacklist has to pick the carry first, then they can decide last. Blacklist also has to pick.
I like Morphling for Blacklist right now.
Oh, by the way, Morphing steals the 40% of all
Oh,
stats
yeah.
on Universal Heroes, right?
Yeah, that's what Chalky said.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to pick a Universal Hero against Morphling.
Wait, what?
That kind of sounds busted.
That does sound busted. Alright, what do they need? What are we looking at last?
I like Monkey, even though it's against Oracle. I think you're really strong with your Deso. I like
They need like a fighting like,
Morphling too.
aggressive. Somebody can play aggressively with the bat and the Pango.
Yeah, I think so.
Ember mid.
I feel like Pango will scale pretty well if he doesn't
Yung
get
mga
bullied by
payosi ka
that
talaga.
support. So you
Pag
want
patalo
something in
ang
the
tropahan.
silent that can be aggressive. And then you want to remove heroes that can kind of solo this bad rider. So you see Slark being removed. Might see a PL2 depending on what Blacklist want to pick. I feel like one Pango's not enough.
PR is quite decent, even for Blacklist.
I think it's very different now. I think a lot of teams have not adapted to this idea of the PL counters because I think the heroes that counter PL right now are like Storm Puck that actually like jump him and
But
kill the real
do
hero.
you care? Because you build the new build is like you get the axe and you get you just keep spamming your spell.
Yeah,
and
that's what I
the
mean.
illusion is so painful right now. So it's
Nagmipo last pick, no? Putang ina mo, kikwit ko
Yeah,
to.
that's why I think you care less about heroes
Okay
that
lang
carry
yun.
illusions, but you care about heroes that jump you.
Ganda niyan.
So like Storm.
Yeah, like Storm Puck. Heroes that actually like find your hero and kill you. I think that's what like you're scared of as PL now. I feel like when you're playing against
Kala ko
like,
inom na kayo, Ter.
Lash or something, you actually don't care. You're never in the fight anyway.
They already have Magnus and Ember, so they kind of need to pick either a carry of off lane. So it's probably not the.
Okay lang, mas okay yun, Seb. Malakas yun.
Counter PR.
Honestly, Execration is gonna find
Kaso,
a way to
sobrang
pick
hirap
Huskar
niyan.
for some reason.
Makukuha at makukuha.
We have Oracle, guys.
Pag-carpet at empower wave agad, no? Kaso ang hirap eh. Unlike kay, kay Tide Hunter.
Game ban, okay.
Makapag-anchor smash, no?
What are they thinking of then?
Yung time animation kasi ng shockwave tsaka empower, mabagal eh.
It's good against Magnus and
Yung
Ember.
sa
I
Anchor
haven't
Smash,
seen a
sakto
Morphin
agad
at
eh.
all though.
Yeah.
Did anything change this patch with Morph?
So I guess Morphing is really good against Magnus because Magnus is a universal hero.
It is good against Magnus because the Magnus can never really fully lane against you.
Tanong
You know,
natin
you
kay
can
Kimo
try
kung ano
to
yung last
skewer
pick
and
ng
skewer
ano.
him. You're good
Mo!
against Ember. Supports don't pressure you now. On
Ano last pick ng Blacklist? Morp?
So unless they
Tayo?
PL here.
PL tayo? PL Morp? Ganda ko ano last pick mo dun?
This is going for the
Pwede yun.
Kanina kulit lang ni Palos eh. Gusto ko mag-last
Oh,
pick
it's the
area ako eh.
Ag Scepter effect that steals the additional 20%.
Yeah.
That's
Greedy naman talaga line up ng kalaban
So,
eh.
that's the morphing.
Tekis.
So if you
Pero
see
gagong
Morphing
hirap
right
din
now,
kasi.
you put another carry
Tatlong
right now,
AoE.
You don't put the Magnus off lane.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's PL.
Wala tayong mga go, pack up talaga yun.
PL against
Tango is
Mas
one of the
makakapag-arcane.
and Bat Rider and Techies because you're very good in the lane against Techies because you can dodge.
Ngayon nga rin pinag-usapan nila eh.
Yeah,
After
so
eh.
yeah, PR is actually the big pick. PR is the best pick. Yeah.
Mahirap talaga.
Ah?
Ha?
What's cool? OD is cool.
Kung ang plano ba pagkalaban yung Doom, i-block namin yung small cap, hindi hayaang mag-pull. Hindi hayaang lumabas.
Oh.
It's cool
So
the right
iniisip nila,
answer.
I
gagawin
see
ng kalaban,
Ursa
i-block
and
yun,
PL.
diba?
I think
Mm.
PL
Yung
is
small
like
cap.
much simpler.
So hindi namin di-reward yun, hayaan
Ursa
lang namin
is,
naka-ward
could
yun.
be a
Basta
hero
hindi lang namin sila bibigyan ng big cap
preference
para
kind
sa
of thing.
Doom.
I think Ursa is only possible because they have Oracle.
Yeah,
Problema
yeah, if
ng
they didn't have
Oracle,
Oracle,
malapit ng
I
Rappi.
agree.
They can only
Ah,
pick
hindi
PR.
nakablock.
So,
Hindi napakan.
hindi. Inopen nila para
Neo
makapag-pull
is the
siya agad.
Morphin
Yung problema,
extra
hindi
blue.
na pull agad. Nag-level 2 si Doom.
Kinda,
Get
yeah.
an update
Nagtaka nga ako, sabi ko,
after
ba't
two
Oo
yun yung
nga,
pinili
go.
ng Rappi?
more
Doyo pa naman ng
fight
harp eh.
mostly.
50 mana lang yun, ang gagawin ni
Oh,
Palos
there's
kapag
PL.
nagka-RP yun.
Alright, so Morph is gonna
Mas sticky ba
buy
mag-
eggs and become PL, and then they're both just gonna
Kahit sino
spawn
ka,
illusions
ano
forever. It's just a cycle. But Execration has Ember with Empower, so
Status
he
nga
can
ako mo
actually
eh.
clear illusions.
Ayun, kung papipiliin ako ha,
Execration
palitan mid
1-1.
ng Exes ni Zapno tapos coach si Pacbets.
Botsu can steal
Go to
the
TI.
empower and give it back to Morphin,
TI.
right?
I mean, looking at their draft, they actually found a real chef
Yaman pa naman
this
sa
game
Hmm.
to cook the draft, not the cleaner.
Let him
Yeah.
cook.
Di, pero kung
Yeah,
nagka-item
we
din
still
si
got
Bob doon,
execution cook.
early.
I mean,
Tangin, ang ganda sana ng galaw nila doon sa mid.
Sure, they
Alam mo
have
yung nangyari?
season
Gago nahila lang si,
five.
ano, si Bob,
kind of
nahila,
what
hindi nakapag,
they
ano,
usually do,
hindi
no?
nakapag-roll.
I feel like when they have a decent draft, they can actually play a game. They're not a bad team by any means. It's just that they kind of tend to
Nabait mo nga, pag talon mo, nabait mo, nagpag. O paano ko
kick
siya
themselves in the butt.
Yeah.
Kaya pala
with their
nag-second
drafts
sabi
and
ko,
their hero
Overthinking or not thinking.
Not
Ah, hindi, nawala ng, ano, ng pagopar.
thinking. It's a bit rough, but yeah, I think Execution, I mean, that's what they did last season. They didn't start the season off great, and then they eventually got their footing. They got
Oo nga.
and managed to
Utang
take it to
ina,
major.
oo nga.
So,
Kung na-silence pala yun, hindi sila mawi-wave.
To the major, or are they on the way to Div 2?
oh, okay, I think Div 2's a stretch. I think that definitely
It's not a
is.
stretch.
Definitely not a
It's not a
stretch.
stretch. No.
Oh no, my
Too early to
lord.
say. It's too early to say.
Yeah, it is quite early to say. I mean, with the current rate that SMB is also going at, it's not looking bright. But I mean, they did win today, which is a little bit of hope.
They lost to SMG, right?
Alam mo yung nangyayari sa lane nun?
Execration?
Bago 8 minutes, 9 minutes naka-trench diffusal yun.
have they
Anong gagawin
played?
nila doon? Yung problema, level
Monday?
7 yung
Monday.
level 4 yung
Yeah.
Mipo.
Monday.
Paano
Oh
nangyari
yeah.
yun? Yun yung mahirap.
But anyways, we have our second
Bawi
game
na lang tayo
ready
dito,
to
tol.
go. So I'm gonna send you guys over
Tiwala
to
lang.
Richie and John.
Jonathan.
Tangina nga, dapat nga Sapno mid yun. Sapno mid. Tas,
He's Australian. Just
tangina mo, TI yun.
He'd be like, "Give me your wallet, Jonathan."
TI.
That was a genuine laugh.
Okay lang yan, babawi yan tropahan natin tol, hindi naman mapapatalo yan eh.
to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair,
This is
Nakapag-major naman yan eh, nakadalawang major ang X eh. So yung mentality nila, matalo man sila sa game, hindi sila malolow moral.
We had to cut that part out of the video, but you gave
Reset lang.
Wait a second, where did I think?
Na-explain naman ni Kimo, narinig nyo naman guys eh.
I wanted to ask you though, back to business here.
May
for
point din si Kimo.
Back to business for
Pero
Blacklist
sobrang
Rivalry
gamble nun.
And of course, Bosku. But I'm curious what your take is here. Where do you think the
Oo, gamble
trajectory
yung point ni
of
Palos
execution is so far this season? And do you disagree with Adam and Winter that if they take a loss here, Div 2 is, you know, not out of the cards for them?
Oh, for sure. I don't disagree. I think Execration's got to show that they've learned something from the major, that they've learned something from Dream League Season 19, because so far, all I'm seeing is a regression, even in comparison to their Tour 2 performance. It's just going backwards here. That's not where we want to go, guys. You don't want to go all the way back down to Div 2. You've seen this team. They're one of the teams that tended to, you know, get ping-pong
Tiwala lang,
up and
guys.
down, Div 1, Div 2 before, but it's been consistent this year. This time around, not so much, at least in this tour. This is do or die. Like, I mean, you can still shape up, you can still bounce back, but you're not going to get that opportunity for points after any more losses, I feel like. You can't afford to, really, get any losses.
Well, what do you feel about the draft that they've given themselves this time?
Kung hindi naman nakakuha ng Harpy sa early yung ano tol, yung Doom, alam mo naman yung mangyayari, may hirapan eh. Inopen pala nila yung camp na maliit, tapos sinuwerte rin nakakuha ni Doom. Hindi rin siguro nila nasilip. Mamatay yata ata tol si Coco. First blood to. Bobo yung fire grenade na spell eh.
Go into Tino. Okay, so I mean, just to go to prove that he wasn't the problem?
No.
Saka checkpoint din tayo ng mga first items sa hero.
Kills the problem.
He kills the problem for sure. I do like the draft Execration has managed to make out here. I think it's
Charge
a lot more forgiving for Palos to play this PL.
Tol!
And in game
Kalma ko ng ano, may type C ka? Ay ano? Ay di, may Android pala ako dito. Type C lang
You
wala.
check the stats afterwards, you see that Ags is an item that you tend to pick up as
Charge ko yung Wi-Fi ko.
5th or 6th.
A bit later. Maybe he was thinking it would have been an item that allowed him to fight, given it has a bit of a save, but it just didn't really end up being the case for him there, as we saw a handful of times.
Yeah. I think in comparison, again, the PL is a lot easier to play, a lot safer in the timings, a lot more predictable in what performance you can expect it to come out with. It can kind of catch up for him pretty safely as well. So it's not under pressure to shut down the map as maybe a Meepo would right now.
Wifi kami,
again, going back to that conversation I had with Aurora where she feels like with the map being so big, Meepo doesn't really shut the map in the way it used to. So the PL should be effective. It's interesting to see PL versus Morphling down the line, because when Morphling gets Axe, which he tends to do, he can do the same Spirit Lance spam as well. So it's
di pala nakasaksak eh,
in that sense, but you've got some options. You're taking a look at that lane, of course. So far, been pretty smooth going for Palos. This is still the early levels.
Di ko alam tol eh. Yun yung trip niya eh. Nakataya na buong karangalan.
Right, because PL is kind of
Shoutout siya pala sa mga tropa dyan. Kain tayo tol.
Doppel off, but you can't doppel off just straight right clicks.
That's right.
Coming out here.
Yeah,
he goes for it.
Wala lang Bon, mananalo tropahan dyan.
You've got a move speed slow, you've got blast off, you know.
Bessel kailangan ng exe dito.
They may just look for it now. Techies is just shy of level 2 though. I think if they had
wala pang stick si Palos, putang ina ba rider na takatapat.
Because you're right, he's got the built-in dispel on
Harp na buhay yan, no?
shortly as Palos now has the skill points, and I'm sure it's going to be doppel very shortly to make sure he can avoid a lot of skills.
I realized, Richie, these are two universal heroes in this lane. This is disgusting.
Mamatay ata si Shanks.
Look at their rifle damage base.
Okay lang.
High.
It's
pwede ba i-hit yung first kill ni Tekis may health bar kapag nasa hangin?
As well, I was going to comment on this lane.
Pwede ba i-hit
I
yung
think
first
now
kill
that
ni
Bosku,
Tekis?
well, now in general that Rubik
May
has
health
been
bar.
shown to be this lane bully. I mean, just try
Di
trading
ko maintindihan
against one of
tol.
the games with 5 base armor and Fadeable as an ability. It's disgusting.
Tigil lang yung ganyang makakatanong, tangina.
Out damage him using an Oracle is pretty good. It seems like Shank's been
May
a
yung
bit off a bit more than he could chew, and he's not needed.
Oo nga eh, good luck sa AP tol. Pasok sila ano, round 2. Bukas.
The double dispels
Sa close qualifiers.
in this kind of a lane.
Wala nang chamba doon guys.
Not really necessary. The mid lane matchup is one that we also kind of need to pay attention to. The Ember versus Pangolier.
Galing ni Bob
rather
dun, ah.
even between Carl and Bob, which is to be expected. I don't think either side really gets a bigger
Match naman
win
yun eh.
out of these trades. Bob eventually can just keep spamming out with Sleight of Fist. They're trying to make a move up top.
Yeah, Tino may end up paying for this. They do find for the Lotus. I'm not sure who ended up with the Lotus, but Tino ends up with a Raven back underneath his tier 1 tower. It was the Mag that
Okay
took
lang,
the
nakuha
Lotus.
nila yung
Bracer, a
Lotus
now,
Orb.
and
Ay, yung
they have
Lotus.
health. Deceptively
Every 3
positive
minutes yung
because of
Lotus,
his
7
PLA
minutes yung
level 3.
XP.
This is very balanced.
Yeah, and also Universal here again. Really high base attack, plus a lot of ads. Like
That is ridiculous. Look at this, 20 HP regeneration a second. That is madness.
Sino-sino players ng IAP? Si Joe, Nando Carey, mid si CY, offlane si Joel, 4 si Krite.
of each stat.
Si CY dapat maglalaro na yun before sa
That's
Exe.
what Aurora says. That sounds
May
pretty
may trabaho lang kaya di nakapag-player.
We'll make sure to look out for that.
So si Nando, kilala naman natin dati pang player ng Exe yan. Isang palakpak lang yung babalik yan. Tapos si Joel, bagong player si Joel. Tapos si Krite naging kampe namin sa Neon. Tapos si Toots naging kampe ko rin sa Exe. Si Toots, si Grims.
Yeah, it's more than enough to keep Tino there. Granted, you aren't pressuring Raven too hard, although he isn't CSing as freely as you'd want. He's also not really
Kalaban nata nila bukas sila ano,
which is
sila
still a good
Ralph
launching point
Richard.
here for Blacklist. A rather even start this time.
Yeah.
Yung
I
team
do
nila
want to
Nisha.
see, coming out of these lanes, what Execration can do with a draft. Because
Tol, si Jules nagkakas na lang yun eh.
for maybe a bit longer than you'd want with a Meepo on hand.
Kakasal siya
In
ng
this
lupon,
case, you
Tol.
still kind of want to play active. You want to connect with your Ember. You want to give that Empower out. You want to have that impact in these fights, threaten with at least the skewer backs, and just kind of get it going from there. Because the side of Blacklist, they are going to be looking to make moves once they've got the levels up.
Oh, Atomic pala.
So I think he's gonna have to be. Oh, okay, a little blast off down.
Patay yata si Palos dito, Tol.
He's getting burned alive here. Carlo coming out from the trees. Blood grenade thrown. Sticky bomb. It shouldn't be enough.
Ganda,
damage.
gago.
Instead, it's Shanks who's gonna TP in, secure the kill there with the purifying flames. Almost died there.
Uy,
Follows
pahil ka.
back the sticky bomb to him. Top lane though, that is going to go ahead and leave Tino alone to immediately.
Mamamatay.
Get to
Putang
work
ina mo,
and
namatay.
pick up the
Shit.
kill onto the Magnus left all by himself. 1-for-1 trade here. Who do you think that behooves?
That feels a little bit better for the side.
Asan po si Bimbo?
I
Si
actually
Bimbo
wanna
guys,
see it
nasa,
feel
pasok na rin sila
because we know what
sa
Tino
close
likes to do on
qualifiers.
his Magnus. We
Ay,
already
sa
know
ano,
he likes
tama.
farming. That stalls
Pasok
out
na
the
sila
Vanguard
Bimbo.
a
Sila
little
yung
bit
second
more,
team na pumasok
has a
ng
cascading effect into how well he can hold that lane without
Seek
the Vanguard.
close qualifiers.
Batrider's a bit more of a naturally fast hero just on levels, so you expect him to be a bit more active early. Oh, okay, maybe they will be able to get it this time. Paolo's in some trouble, doesn't have Doppelganger, just use it, and the damage is sufficient. KP is going to go down, and maybe they look for more as well. KP is dying to the tower here. Carlo with a stick charge.
Gogo, double kill.
KP also
Nang
keeps
ina
the wagon
palugi.
alive,
Disband
but
na
will be
naman.
burned by the
Ayun, namatay.
Shanks.
Nasolo ni Shanks.
Dodges
This is a
the
lot of
bombs. Bosku is going to take the twin gate on over and pick up the kill. Tanking the
Nakakuha
tower.
si girl ng run. Going bottom. Puta, patayan
A lot
na.
of kills and
Uy, naka-live ako!
a lot of damage on
Ang
the
ito
tower
ng
as well.
Google, oh. Si Ian
Regular
Regiolanto.
here. And Carl, they're not even done. Carl's coming down bottom too.
Palos?
This is,
Ang ina mo,
looking
Palos, patay ka na
very
naman,
aggressive.
gago.
Rolling Thunder though, Carl seems to have already used it. May not need it for the kill and doesn't. As Carl's going to be able to catch him there with the edge.
Ang ina mo, sigaw.
Crash. This is a tower.
Yeah, straight
Hindi
up
nakakuha
tower.
rin kasi si girl ng ano eh.
Multiple kills on a PL.
Nang run, kaya umiikot eh.
I'm surprised Execration keep pushing
Ang
that
ina,
issue down there.
3-6 na yung score agad.
We're not seeing Bob make any moves out as well. He's got his 6. He's trying to clear out mid,
Yeah.
which, again, it's not really the tower that you want to take. The side lanes feel much more impactful to find. You are giving free space for Bob to build up. He's got the Orb Corrosion working on
Sir.
some phase boots, but...
Patalo na naman tayo. Panalo na yung Blacklist ng game 1, sir. Didisband na daw tayo eh.
And a little bit of connection out from Tino. This is an extremely slow start for Palos to play with. It's going to be a stalled out time.
Ayun.
Defuse a bottom net.
Mga tanga.
Be behind even Tim's
Siguro yung
farm
tondo,
right now
tol.
in terms of net worth.
Pumay ng ini.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad when you put it that way.
Yeah.
Ngayon, labas ako dyan.
Tino just has
Mababas tayo niyan.
I think Bob is
Oo,
not
madi-Jesse
gonna be
bash tayo
enough to
niyan.
be enabled. I was making this point earlier
Oh,
about the
yeah.
support duo that you have here between the Maiden and the Oracle. A bit more of your backliners, right? I think Oracle can bring the
Doon ka
damage.
doon!
We saw very
Tanga to ng Google ang puta.
but more so
Nangahawa yung...
enemy aggression here.
Gago ka, Bob.
No way Bosco makes it out of here. I believe
Nice.
he's dead, and he is.
Ang ina mo, pangit ang pwesto. Pag na-roll siya doon, mamamatay siya doon.
Going to be good enough there. Out to Carl, even if he did manage to find the perfect angle. Careful though, Bob. There's a techie
mahal pa naman si Bob
on
pag
the
binenta.
trees. They decided to go for a play here.
Alt tab sa may
Oracle
Ragnarok.
finds
Sheesh!
the fortune's end. Shanks
Kaya nga,
has
bawag
to
yung
allow
PL, tol.
here.
Putang
The
ina mo,
world's
kinabahan si Bob.
shortest Fire Remnant is going to convince Carl to continue a bit further, but there's a bit too much healing here now, courtesy of the
Mamatay si Carl!
mana for Carl either to
Angat!
continue this engagement. Blast off
Ah!
ready, though they're looking for the kill
Yamit
onto
eh.
Bob. Not have a Remnant down, but does manage to dodge the sleight of fist. Doesn't matter though, because Bosco's going to steal away the haste here. The fight in the river continues. Carl jumps into the river, doesn't actually hit him, but Bosco
Tang ina, nandun
will
si
get the kill.
Kuko, walang nya.
At the same time,
Ganda
Kuko
pwesto ni
is trailing
Pangit,
the
ah.
Kings, but that's your mid laner dead.
Yeah, that's some really good
Tropa yan, sir.
skirmishing out from both
Nadaanan
sides.
dito.
Bob trying to play it to the
Oo.
very edge, but Blacklist bringing numbers in once
Di
more.
namin sasabihin, sir,
Good
pag nandito
movement
sila,
out from
kukupalin mo eh.
Bosco. to just kind of secure that rune, take
And
it away
Max at
from
the
Bob.
perfect time.
Really unfortunate for Bob as well. Like he gets the remnant out as the shield crash affects him.
Oh, yeah. So
So he's not able to escape.
the slow, right? It's just two
Nakuha
events.
pa yung stock ang
And now you get
puta.
to steal these
Ikaw ba yung
camps
gago?
with KP.
Kalaboso
He's
si
trying to
Bob.
build up. Again, you don't
Juicy.
need that much napalm. Yeah, you just go max Firefly. You've got the right-click damage to help you
Ayun.
clear out. You've got the control.
Boss
Di, okay lang.
dies for
Para
space
na
here,
nakuha.
most likely. There's no point in
Ibigay mo.
lasso. There could be, but fortune's then, yeah, threatening to dispel. Bosco
Ang ina mo, patay si Bob, gago.
Who's gonna be able to blow up Bob? Tip for tip. Bosco says that's space created, my friend. Carlo, who's gonna be next in line? My goodness, that was
Ang ina,
ridiculous
16 na yung
damage.
scope.
That
Durog tayo,
wasn't
tol. First
even
10 kills.
useful yet.
No,
Blacklist.
This is just the effect of that orb corrosion on such a squishy support. Maiden just doesn't have that much in way of stats.
Oh.
And this look from Blacklist is looking pretty damn good, Richie. They're
It
playing
is.
as a team. They're coordinating with this movement out. They're seeing opportunities and seizing them together, denying map space away on the map. With
Sabi
KP
dito
just
ng isa
camping down
ng tropa,
bot. Where are you
sarap
gonna
throw
be
ng
putting
X ngayon ah.
It's relentless.
Throwback
Well,
Thursday.
relentless as well. They've once again identified the one lane that is going pretty
Early
okay
GG
for
ata
Execution.
to ah.
Shut it down. We'll see.
Nakakaramdam tayo ng kasamaan ah.
Not going to be able to find him fast enough. So at least this time compared to last, Tino gets his Vanguard online and he does not die immediately after. That's pretty big, right? You were talking about how the early death on this hero was punishing because he does like to farm a bit more. I was talking about how, well, no one else is going to really be able to make plays on the side of Execration early. So he's going to be able to stack for himself and continue accelerating his own farm.
Nag-status na tingnan ko kung overpili na palitan mid X ni sa tapos coach si Paxbait slow the TI na to. Senior ni Jomi Abalos. Nilipat pa doon ng Dota ang buta.
For any big timings, it does feel like you've got pretty much everything you
Ang ina kasi ni
want.
Kim mo
The
naglabas ng
Kingdom's not too far off now for Carl.
naglabas ng papel
Just
gago.
farming on
Nakasulat
Raven,
sa
no
papel
pressure in the world.
GTA.
KP
Cheats ang
rushing into the
puta.
Ocarine.
He's so farmed.
Yeah, they're all just farming. Like, that's one thing.
Mortal Kombat
It's a
ang
little bit more
puta.
punishing for Execration to play it passively. I feel like the
Siya, siya,
skill
siya.
from
Let's call it a
Blacklist
night.
to the morphing in this game is really high.
Ang ina to, round to inom to
You
pagkatapos.
don't really have control for the Pango,
Woo!
but the morphling is like the one factor that I
Ang
think
pogi
that
natin, ang pogi
in the
natin
core
today ah.
matchup,
Pag short
on
ah.
paper,
Ang ina,
PL
mumukopa
running
ako
that
dito,
morphling,
ah.
burning his mana does feel
Sheesh.
good. On the other hand, it's like that
pinatong yung
timing
buhok.
doesn't feel like it's gonna come out too
Buki ng
quickly.
ina, umay ah.
Yeah, this PL is just not going to be able to threaten the Morphling too quickly. I will say though, I think
Cheat ng
Execration
GT yun,
might
tol.
be better
Tamang
on the
Yeso
route.
yan.
Picking this up a bit from Winter, but
Siyempre, tropa natin si Kim pagkasama natin, pero pag malayo si Kim, siraan natin.
Arcane and I believe a haste. Haste is always really good.
Shot
as a
puno to,
defender,
Seb.
but
Hanggang magsuka.
It's kind of a game where you're able to poke and prod with not only max and
Tayo na
power,
naman
but
si Palos, tol.
a maxed
Yun, nakapag ano, pababilis.
DD rune as
Nahihila.
well. Sleight of fist, that
May
could still work.
bomba.
They have got the real Pablos here as well. Can I actually collect on this?
Ang
They
ina
can't.
mo,
They
wala
just
nang
go with
lane.
right clicks. 91 damage and 99.
6K yung lead ng tatlong ano.
Right. Bob is at least gonna be able to find Carl here, but Carlo lacks the damage. Doesn't have the points in freezing field.
Uy, yun!
So Carlo just about face there. Did a quick 180. Finds at least Carlo in the trees, but Bob has a remnant back. Is gonna get the false promise and continue fighting here, but they're immediately on to Shanks to reduce the healing. And Bob, that's a red light above you, my friend. I don't think he gets out of this one alive, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I guess that's somewhat worthwhile. It's a big streak on Carl.
Right.
Like, you take what you can get. It's not the worst loss in the world. It's still pretty damn bad.
500 gold. I mean, it's gonna sting, right? It seems like you might lose your tier 1 tower here.
Yeah, you're already ready to just show up on Raven. No fear in the world. Octarine finished up now for KP. So more activity coming out from him. Uptime on Lasso. Uptime on Firefly is really a big one. Just able to run down a lot faster. Going back to what you were saying about Tim's, universal heroes, man.
Yeah.
Ang ina, tamang sisi ka na naman,
I do not
Emmanuel.
know, but that's what we have now.
Octarine na naman, tol.
4.8
Putang
damage
ina
per
mo, na
level
ano
here,
ko,
but like that's pretty nice for him.
Hindi, sakto lang. Kala ko limit
He's
eh.
getting there rather quickly, and that's also a fight where. It
Oh, tol,
doesn't feel
napansin
best
ko,
for
nakamute ako.
Carl, but he at
Nice
least
ka na,
already
nice ka
secured the funds, and his courier was about to deliver the diffusal blade, so he has that online.
Tang ina, tol. Pag ano, pag
naka
naka-speaker ako, nag-auto-mute.
DD runes still outstanding. Both of those runes may be a game changer here for Execution.
Lagi ito,
especially if you
sa
compare
ano,
them with
bobo
this
tong
Magnus's,
artist na to.
Echo Saber.
Bibili na lang ako yung ano, yung may linya na.
Rolling Thunder's ready in a second. He's just trying to
Hindi
get
ano,
whatever farming he can.
ayoko na ng wireless, pangit pala wireless.
I mean, he just has no room on the map. Blacklist have such a good read as to where the PL's trying to farm up. It's not like
Tang ina ni Palos, tol, oh. Pahinga. Tang ina, lungkot na mukha, tol. Alam mo nyo na ending. Kalabasa.
Barely above Tim's. That's, I mean, you're barely above a techies. There's no sugarcoating that one. This is a rough game for Palos. Worse than even game one. I think he had a lot more room in game one in comparison here.
He did. Shanks is in some trouble. The physical damage is more than sufficient. Commits the ulti on himself. It's a level 1 false promise. And he's not going to live. I mean, just not a chance. Not a snowball's chance in hell. But Jonathan, he's dead.
It's just gone. I'm just wondering what happened to Execration.
Oh no.
Wala tol, pangit to tol. Huwag na kayo bumili ng Arctis. Siraan natin Steel Series. Pag naka-speaker ka, nawawala yung ano. Putang inopen yung freezing field tol!
Cannot fight into this. There's going to be at least a skewer interrupt into the RP that did not catch the Pangolier. He's rolling on through and is going to get bonked off. That defender's getting to make it out alive. But with Blacklist, yes, losing support.
Mas okay pa rin talaga yung may ano. Naka-direct na linya. Huwag kayong mag-wireless. Bobo yung wireless tol.
To find a Rubik kill. You take what you can get for sure, but it's not a good tone.
Nope.
It's down to how Execration likes to play on Tino and Palos. Tino likes to farm.
Techies is level 10.
It's above the PL.
He's big.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pangina level 10 yung
certainly
Techies
something
ang
here. It's going to
puta.
get better for Palos, though, Jonathan. It's going to get better. I believe, yes,
14 minutes level 10.
Blade now coming out. Tino's still a little bit of a tough kill, but not if KP is nearby. They've stolen Shockwave as well. Tino, there is nowhere for you to go but back into the Techies mines. They didn't even need to use the Techies mines. They'll save that for a rainy day. Oh my goodness. Black, they're firing on all cylinders. They are just absolutely dismantling Execration right now.
And they're just... They know what Execration like to do, right? They've had 2 tours to figure out what Execration does. And it doesn't feel like anything's really changed.
Guys, punta kayo sa page mamaya ng EXE. Sure boss yun.
They're not leaning into this Luna Visage they used to go for.
Comment nyo dun, palitan yung coach.
Okay, oh, they got vision up on the high ground. They need a little bit more damage. Raven is here. Good Syrian Chains finds him. Boss Koo showing off his Emperor skills here with good damage onto 2 and KP as well, connecting. Oh my goodness, the damage from the low ground as well, from the Pangolier, and it's just Raven who runs him down with the right clicks. Carlo, he's got ultimate here, but against 4 heroes, there's just no chance for him to do anything. He's going to go down as well.
This is ugly. This is ugly for Execration, but beautiful for Blacklist. This is a great showing coming out from them. I mean, this is a team that went to the major in Execration. Sure, the results are... There's no sugarcoating it.
It's lackluster this time.
Lackluster is very kind, Vigi. Lackluster is very kind for a team that has gone to 2 lands in terms of majors and an additional 1 in Dream League. I would say... abysmal on land. Like this comes out from a place of love because I know all these players. I know they can do better, and they're just not.
You know, I think the only thing that Blacklist are going to have to learn from this game is they're going to have to teach KP.
Hindi ko nga alam eh. Oo nga no, may point ka doon tol, hindi ko na napansin. Post pa Oracle pala sila.
They're not really.
Oracle CM magkasama.
Maybe there's still some items coming here. I'm being hopeful now. They are about to finish Harpoon here on the mag. That could be a big item for tomorrow.
I mean, it could be, but Blacklist have just not been splitting up. They've been sticking together as 2 or 3.
Oh my goodness, it's... You're not even giving them the copium right now.
Bosya na sila guys, 16 minutes.
Oh, no.
8-12 yung score. Lamang ng 10k yung Blacklist. Game number 2 nga pala to guys. Pag nanalo yung Blacklist dito, wala nang game 3, 2-0 na.
Guaranteed.
You're right.
And 1 more from regional qualifiers. This is not the kind of performance Execration can afford to have. But for Blacklist, again, this is amazing. This is such a great thing to see from Blacklist, this massive improvement. The fact that they're working, coordinating as a team, it's such a big news because this was their one weakness across all these tours. It felt like there was no voice, there was no guidance as to when to play around their power spikes.
Hindi na kaya ng dasal na ito.
They get the Aegis, and they get this huge lead early on, 11k up. Not necessarily
Titiwala lang, kaya nila
the
yan.
way to dig yourself out of this for Execration is rough. You're starting to think about just like a blink timing on Tino.
Yep.
And, you know, the threat of high ground defense is big from Execration. So,
yaman ng bat gago.
Back to when you've got this Magnus.
It's gonna be tough though. They did Roshi faster than I thought they could. Oh my goodness, Carl is in. Look at that swashbuckle burning the man of the damage. 2 on to 3, but they've caught Bob. Oh, and Raven just puts him into the dirt immediately, into the water more like it. Shanks doesn't even have time to ulti himself, and Carl's already before I can even finish this sentence. That was fast. That was efficient. A well-oiled machine.
Very well-oiled machine coming out from
Pwede Shadow Demon Phosphor pala to, no? Di ko alam, Sep.
You know, a lot of maintenance needed on this whole muscle car here.
What do you do? It's
Yun lang, may spoiler, ang putang ina mo.
I don't know what to say when you're when your PL is only 500 gold above a techies? How do you even explain that? How do you?
Suspend natin to.
I'm struggling. This is rough.
That is kind of ridiculous.
Suspend ka ng 15 minutes, tol. Kupal ka.
Snowball in a patch like this, though, is where I'll pivot that point in because you know enough doom and gloom for Execration. We'll see what they can do here. We'll give them some time to farm. Let them cook, Jonathan.
Let them cook. I think we can just.
Kasi marunong din kami mag-hawklife pero hindi kami kupal.
Yeah, I mean this is how you turn a game like this into complete domination. You see them hunting behind the tower. You know these tier 2 towers, these outer towers, no longer as much of a threat as they used to be. There's another remnant, but look how slow he is with the inhibit. Does manage to get up to high ground, but KP has Firefly. Thought he might have gone chasey. They're gonna get the skewer back after the harpoon and Carl.
Shout nga pala dyan. Maraming salamat. Notify kayo guys sa mga bagong pasok sa stream natin.
But these inner towers, that may be something
Exclamation notify para ma-notify kayo guys.
Damage onto the Bat Rider though, and KP still gets the kill on the Bob. Just doesn't matter.
Ang ina mo, pa-high-ground na. Namatay pa si Bob. Walang buyback. Ito na, papasok na eh. Papasok na Blacklist, tropa.
There's a secondary one. They're even turning for more jump. They're diving up onto the high ground.
Buyback si Bob. Check ping natin.
Wants to put down Tibbs. He says, give me all that money. That's 400 gold for a techie's kill. You're worth more than my PL. Thank you very much. But Carl's turning for one.
Utang ina mo, nasiring chains namatay.
And now Shanks, he doesn't have ulti for himself. He's already committed.
Dieback si Bob, guys. Puta sabog.
Okay, that's a nice skew out of the high.
Busang exe.
Another buyback now up from Execration. Bosku steals the skewer. Does manage to save.
Utang ina, patay si Palos. Nag-buyback na si Oracle. Nag-buyback na yung CM. Utang ina, dieback. Takbo exe. Inang ina nyo, disband.
So they're willing to commit here. Blacklist rivalry, they haven't even gotten to tier 2. And they barely touched a tier 2 tower. And they nearly just went down.
Yeah, they just went diving. 9:30 on the kill board, 9:35 on our clock.
Lo, ano yun, tol?
Well, is it 9:30? No, it's 8:30, unfortunately. A little bit early.
Oh, Witation, dami nag-buyback, oh. Dieback yung Ember.
It's rough for Execration.
Ember lang ang dieback, tol.
I don't want to focus. I mean,
Yun, mapapa-welted ka na lang talaga.
Talking about Execration is
It's hard in these kinds of games.
Blacklist though. Blacklist, how clean are they?
Suporta pa rin, Seb, kahit Olas, bawi na X-Life. True.
But their coordination's been through the roof. Their communication seems to have been fixed, all with bringing KP in. Now, there's some spicy takes on this, right? There's a couple of spicy notes here, which is always funny, but it's nice to see. The Blacklist makes that adjustment.
It's good to see the improvement. I mean, you're asking how clean they are. They're so squeaky clean right now. I'm surprised Execration don't hear them coming from across the map.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so on top of everything. 20k up, 19k up, 21 minutes in without a Luna, an Alchemist, a Doom. Like this is almost unheard of. This late into the game with this many camps to farm. Just kind of goes to show like how well this team is. All of a sudden playing from ahead, not a situation where they used to be at. And I will say, this is always where Blacklist rivalry, to me, especially 2-2, what was so frustrating about watching their games is that they would have decent starts to their game.
Next time, Seb, banyo S-test pag Blacklist kalaban.
And then they just wouldn't go anywhere. And this isn't like
Putang ina, ML yun ah.
Look at their wards.
Di
Like,
ata
look at
masarap
what Kuku's
ulam ni
setting up
Bob
these wards. Anytime someone tries to sneak out of the base, they're going to be trying to get them in this
Yan, si
bottom
Kimu
lane.
kasi bobo
That means
drop.
they've got
Tignan
the
mo naman as
entire
kami
half of
dagin
the
sa
map
bleach. Naku po,
carved
nagkasisihan na
out.
mga
They have the
kapuso,
outposts in the
Jessica.
top lane as well, as we've seen the killed Palos up there with ease, and they'll do it again.
Kalmahan nyo lang guys ha, kalmahan nyo lang.
They control the Lotus pools. Now they're going to be looking for the Ember Spirit. They stole the Searing Chains. Chains onto
Wala silang sagot dun, tol.
It's immense. There's a
Wave
butterfly on
replicate
Raven.
chains, puta.
I mean, you haven't stopped that morphling. It was never a threat in lane
And look,
from Tino.
this is the threat. You look to try and farm on their side of the map. They're going to try and kill you. Rolling Thunder is utilized. They see Big Fish and they want Big Fish. They know that's the real one. There's a lasso. And they've already kind of, scared this Oracle out of the fight. Down goes the Maiden. Palos is dead. There's just no moves here. It just doesn't feel like there's any moves for Execration, John.
No, there's no way.
No, total. 9:34.
I can't find a way to come back in. And going back to how much Blacklist has improved, because we heard this from our interview with KP.
Right.
And he said
Kaya to kung bulag yung
Kuku's a great
Blacklist.
captain. And I believe that always held true, but captaining from the offlane is just really difficult. This is something we also saw T1.
Especially when you try and play it like a mid lane.
Yeah.
In trouble here, by the way, is Tino. He might just be dead. Look at the triple mines pushed right back into them. Just a thing of beauty, honestly. I mean, that's if that does not scream, with synergy and just teamwork between two new laning partners, like that is, it's impressive. Really impressive, that combo right there.
It is. Blacklist have given me hope.
But tell me more about captaining from the off lane or a pseudo mid laner compared to now on 5.
Right, on 5, he's just able to dictate everything he wants to do so much easier. He's guiding, I'm pretty sure he's the unifying voice now between all the ideas on a team. He's the one that sets that tone. Whereas with old Blacklist, it felt like everyone had a voice, especially when you're communicating and, you know, you're much more comfy in Filipino. They catch Bob out again.
No, I think he's just going to die here. He is.
Lead it. Just like that.
I mean, it doesn't have buyback. It's actually, I believe, still on cooldown from earlier, Jonathan. It is, for another 3 minutes.
Last pa rin ni KP,
Right.
ang gandang addition sa
This is the
kanila.
kind of game where you're like, well, let's hope that they stand that side of our fountain and let Magnus RP them, and then we skewer them into the fountain, and
They don't have a blink though. So
they don't, because he needs to save. He needs to save for buyback, and he is hoping for the BKB first. That's kind of been a big item here for the Magnuses, but there's not a whole lot stopping them from taking your bottom barracks now.
yeah.
I mean, Tim's is even confident enough to just walk up and just hit the damn thing with a mine.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Again, you don't have the threat of a blink skewer, blink RP.
They're smoking across the map immediately.
Minus
They sensed,
1.5
PL
blacklist,
there.
we
He's
piso,
got a really
tamang
low polish.
Mustang.
Good job not being the
Ilan ads nun, tol?
slightest
Sino
bit
nakataya sa minus
greedy.
1.5?
Holy
Pa-check
crap,
nga.
Look at that difference in the bouncer room.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you about a story about map control here, I don't know what will. That's just plainly ridiculous.
It is. And, I mean, what do you say in a game like this, Richie?
What do you want for dinner?
I'm not having dinner. I'm on my fast. So, you know, I'm trying to lose that weight.
Oh, goodness.
Trying.
Pwede
Trying
pa
is
to,
one
patayin
thing.
ng monitor ng
There's
blacklist.
the Ags coming out from...
That's something.
It is. I mean, you can kind of hold the high
Next
ground
game,
again
sa'yo,
with
pag
the
mo muna
threat
stream
of
ng
just
laban.
You know what's like?
Eventually a skewer back.
Nasisip pa.
Yeah.
Lance back.
Yeah,
they're
testing
not gonna-
natin,
they're not
testing
gonna let it
natin.
Wait, you know, that long. They're gonna smoke out of the base now, see what they can find.
Kaya nga,
Sub
i-rogue
here,
ito.
still
Pinapanood
without
nga
that
namin.
I
eh.
assume it's because he sacrificed an item at least. Maybe like a Manta style or something, but he'll at least able to
Si
find a bit
Mora
of
Col,
farm.
eh.
Has he finally overtaken
Dalawang single.
the techies in farm? Yes, by 1k. And now he's the richest hero.
Pangit lang yung una.
I
Hindi
mean,
talaga
that's
pampuhan niya.
progress. For Bob, though, in more trouble is his forecast has managed to at least get out in time. They
Takbo,
could-
sala po. Kinangina, wala ka na naman third skill.
They
Ay,
are
second
still
skill.
chasing a couple of heroes away. That is a lasso. They're dragging Bob towards the base. It doesn't even matter. I mean, he was going to die no matter what. They dragged him away.
Tang
from the
ina,
local
sakit,
tanks. Could not
gago.
save him. Carl now is struggling a little bit here against the illusions, but yeah, I mean, not really. Struggling's a little bit of a dramatic word to use there.
It is. They lose their...
May laban pa eh, kasi pakipatay na lang ABR ng blacklist.
Side of Execration, they're going to lose their Tormentor as well. And Tormentor, it feels like Blacklist are...
Naku, short stay. Kiss pa. Putang ina mo, makakas pa yung ano.
This is...
Status trap sa ano. Ay, second
no,
skill.
Kino, he cannot afford to die here. They have lasso as well, thanks to the Octarine core being ready. And skewer stolen. Let's see, how will they decide to kill him? Pump fakes the RP. That is a big skewer range. That is a long
Hindi
skewer
gumagalaw ng lane.
there.
Yeah? They just clean up like that? There's... I feel like we've said everything there is to say about
This one's a stomp, Jonathan.
yeah.
This one's a stomp, and
Di ko alam.
you know, we've talked about the storyline, a bit of a
Medyo
fall
malabo
from
din sa sabaw ng posito ba, Joe?
Blacklist rivalry. I think what I've been impressed by, though, thoroughly this game by them, especially because they're one of the first teams in C, perhaps, to really display
Okay,
this
tapos
like exemplary understanding of
Buta
moving
basic
around the
yun.
map. It's just that how well they move around the map and specifically close off execration from farming any seemingly.
Yeah, I mean, the map is bigger, but we haven't felt any sort of
No.
catch-up from Execration
No,
every
kasi
single
Jobit
time.
tayo.
They just rack
Kita
up.
ko yung
It just
niya,
always
tol.
feels like Blacklist rivalry are just chasing them
Tangina
out.
talaga.
I mean, time and time and time again.
Yeah, and you see KP just again buying space for that Roach to happen freely, trying to clear out Carlo. He does manage to TP out, but Aegis does go to way of
Sabi
Blacklist.
dito,
They're
mayaman
ready to
pa
go
po
high
5
ground,
ni Ko
they're
sa
ready
mid
to
lane ni Bob.
do
Sheesh.
whatever they want in this game.
Oo
And
nga,
Tino's
no.
actually bought out here for BKB.
Hindi, dulog na
Doesn't
dulog
have
na
it,
kasi, tol.
but He's bought out
27
far
minutes, oh.
closer,
Yeah.
so he doesn't have buyback.
33k gold lead.
I mean, his other cores do. 300 gold shy. He might just die here, though. In goes Bob, and we'll see. Yes,
Takbo,
gets the
Bobby.
false promise. Good save from Shanks. Utilized the blink
Tino.
dagger well there.
Mamamatay
Doesn't
ata ito
Shanks
pa na-
himself
putang
with
wala
that
na.
buyback, though, after that buyout. Now Shanks
Ang
is
ina
dead.
mo, side na ng
So
anong
is
warp,
Tino. All right, two heroes just like that. Blacklist rivalry
Ang ina mo
just,
Scotty,
just
Scotty
now
battle play ang
win it,
puta.
honestly. Not really too much of a technical term is needed
Ang ina
there.
mo pag na-change kayo ng Ember, gago. Ay, ng
At
ano,
this point,
ng
you
Morph.
just take the bodies and maybe there's another one. Phantom Lancer picked up by Bosku. I'm trying to go for the cheeky skewer back. Couldn't find it in time, but it's a 5 versus 2, pardon me. And Execration, well, see what they can do, but they're going to be forced to strike the colors here pretty soon.
At the least, respawns are fairly short with how far behind you are, so, you know, you're going to be back up for the defense.
Damage on the Bosku. It's something. They're going to back up. Credit where credit is due. Blacklist is, paying some respects here and making sure they're not doing anything too foolhardy. I think you can really tell the effect of KB playing this team.
Ang ina kasi niya eh.
Yeah, it's definitely allowed him to play much more tempered, although...
All right, he's the one looking for a pickoff, and it's a big one here onto the PL. Now, they do keep a magic immune, at least allows him to get a doppelganger out, but how much is left in the tank? Not much more. Raven brings the physical damage here. Eye of Sky.
Pwede na ba gumawa din si Kuko ng review about sa picking Cebu? Oo! Kailangan na gantihan ni Kuko si Kimo, tol.
Yeah, it's no pressure in lane, no pressure in these spikes.
It's time na to, gago. Sisihan na to.
Into now the RP, they need a bit more damage. Doesn't have, it does have himself an Aegis, pardon me, and enough mana to get off the strength shift. Another skewer on back, nearly into the fountain now, but they're still going to need another one. The slows are pretty decent here.
Hindi na mapatay si Raven, tinatakbuhan lang, oh.
Targeting him, the rest of the team now continue to go in as Bob at least picks up a kill here onto Tim. This is pretty good, but still Carl and Bosco are just too big. Raven in the meantime is taking forever to die, and they found now the Oracle. He does have buyback at least, that's one life at least.
Sap no mid talaga, gago.
Nearly into the fountain. But I think the Flame Break stops that in its tracks. Now KP pops his BKB here. Looking to get forced off of the high ground. That's another couple of buybacks out from Execration. Let's see what else they have left as Bosku skewers away, but it's going to be Harpoon and skewered back into the base. Another kill here, another 1,500 gold into the coffers here of Execration, but it costs them 4 buybacks. Now Blacklist Rivalry, that's their second buyback. They didn't quite catch Bob there. He's too fast there on the, oh goodness, on the Revenant, but they're going to be able to track. Only Tim's back. Raven shifts into actually the Magnus. He's not going to be able to kill him, at least so easily, because Shanks uses the Falls Promise on him, but down goes Bob. He's going to die in the back lines to Carl solo, and that's now going to be, well, 3 dead versus 5. That's 3 diebacks already. I don't know, John. I mean, I salute them for not calling it. This is in true SCA style. But, there's a glimmer of hope for them, basically, when they went into that one.
There was a little.
Immediately crushed here. I think this is it.
Yeah,
Almost.
this is gonna crush it.
Yeah,
that's it.
There he goes.
They're not calling it yet.
Lungkot ang putang ina.
Okay, they called. I mean, that was a strong performance out from Blacklist. Execration, it's looking rough. They look lost. They look like they don't have an identity. They look like they don't know where they stand in this patch, and they've had a lot of experience on this patch relative to other teams. On the land, they've been able to play in those lands. They've had the opportunity to try to find some solutions.
Bawi yan next game, kaya naman nila next game nila. Kaya pa major yan.
They were going 1-1 quite a
Sino ba next game na kalaban nila?
Finding some success, but it's not translating back here at home. But for Blacklist, I mean, this is an amazing look for them. They've fixed all the issues we've had with this team. They look outstanding. My point about Mike is probably wrong. He's looking to be an improved coach this tour, for my hot take. So always good to see. Love me seeing some happy Mike in the background.
Kalaban nila guys, boom.
And who knows? I mean, if Blacklist
tapos sunod
trend,
AG.
it'd be pretty cool to see Filipino team rise to the
Tapos
top.
Sersha.
Yeah. Maybe they're
Team
not
week
strong
1
enough
guys.
still to take on Talon. I think that's yet to be determined. But if they continue on this trajectory, like I don't see.
You're looking number 2 to me.
Yeah, exactly, easily, right? And that personally excites me for what they can do on international and what they have yet.
Kamot ulo talaga guys. Ganun talaga buhay.
Well, unfortunately for Execration, it's continued a downward spiral for them this tour.
Ninja Boogie effect daw guys, sabi.
And it wins where they look convincingly like the best team out of the 2.
Absolutely.
A short match for us here, Jonathan, but let's go ahead and throw it back to the panel as they're going to have an interview with Blacklist and be able to break down our series just a bit for you.
For the first time in DPC 2023 history, Blacklist have finally beaten Execration. It must be just such a uplifting feeling that they finally did it. They have proven to be the better Filipino team right now. But my panelists, what went down in that game? Why was it so painful for
They didn't
Execration?
just beat Execration, man. They beat them up real good. I feel like the laning was kind of weird. Like they didn't put the Oracle against the Bad Rider for some reason, and the PL didn't really have the skill build to deal with the Bad Rider lane. I feel like against the techies and bad, you really need the max Doppel walk just to constantly have uptime. I feel like KP owned this lane so hard. It's as if he picked the bad into a PL and not the other way around.
Like how is the Oracle not in this lane? I don't get it. Like Oracle is just meant like you pick the Oracle after you see the bat, right? But then you don't put the Oracle in the bat's lane. Then why even bother? And the guy playing Oracle feels like he doesn't even want to play the hero, like casting his spells incorrectly and feeding in the lane. Like he just, I've never seen Shanks play so bad. Like seriously. He's always been like the shining star of Exploration, you know, whenever you see the team, they are very, very successful. It's like Shanks and Tino both doing so much wonderful
Bawi,
things.
guys, bawi.
They do really well in the lane. They
Kalabasan
manage
yung laro
the team
nila.
fights. They cast their spells accordingly, team works perfect.
Pahinga na yung mga
But
akop
right
nila.
now, everything is, I don't know where is the
Okay,
team's
boys.
mindset right
Una
now.
na ako.
It's just in a
Kita-kits
very,
na lang
very
mga
bad
sa
space.
susunod na laban.
Yeah, they completely just got
Susunod
disrupted.
na laban nila
They
guys
don't even look
sa
like they're on the
May
same page,
22.
really. Like you said, Winter, they need to go have a team huddle.
Team
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday laban nila.
Go
7
upstairs.
PM sila.
Hopefully not with pizza.
Now get some jolly.
Stream ulit natin to. GG boys, thank you.
But Blacklist looking really strong. If
2-0.
they keep up this momentum, do you think they'd actually have a shot of qualifying?